Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Yeah, we're a couple minutes late because I hit the intro and I got up to go grab something and I realized I didn't hit go live. So that's what we're just slightly off.
Adam boomered it.
I boomered it. I can't hide. It's been a weird day. It's been a weird. I'm also
Listen,
behind schedule tonight. So
well, there's that, but also it's just like the time when we were reviewing Mob Psycho, and we had to do it like recorded, and we started talking, and you didn't hit record.
Yeah, I know. That was a weird time too because my internet was all. It was during that was when my internet at first started to fuck up where the signal would go wonky because of the wires. Anyway, welcome to Anime Odyssey, that time of the month where we take a break and just talk anime.
That's right.
It's not creeping in on any other streams. No, we are here to be weebs, and you guys are probably going to get a weeb fight tonight. You're going to get a bit of a weeb fight, I think. You're going to get one. And listen, it's crazy out there in the real world today. So we're here to provide you with some actual escapism from that nonsense. Just take a break, sit back, relax, and watch two nerds yell at each other, which is what's going to happen, I think.
It will more than likely happen.
Yeah, because I was not enthused or thrilled or really all that pleased with our choice of show for this month. In the end, I'll give you this, Dermy. It did even out, like you said, a little bit towards the end, but I still was not a happy camper overall. And I'll give my reasons. But yes, we're here to talk anime this month. We're discussing Record of Ragnarok. We have no guests, it's just us because we couldn't schedule one. And also, Dermy chose this one really for me. Sometimes we're choosing stuff for other people to bring them in, but this one was for me, and also because Dermy really wanted to do a fighting anime. He's been wanting to do one for like 6 months. And
it was either going to be this or King and Ashura, and they're both two of my favorite fucking animes right now. And
but listen,
I love this.
Anyway, so we're gonna get to that. Then we got a couple extra stuff here. We're going. I basically cock blocked Dermy from talking about this a week ago on Ballbusters because like
2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago. It was that long ago.
It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Cock blocked him for talking about this on Ballbusters. Like, no, we're saving it for Anime Odyssey. We're talking about how fan service is saving anime, and it should save anime because it belongs. It's a part of it. It's part of the culture. It's a part of the gloriousness. We got a good article on that from one of the best fan service creators out there.
Hey, there was fan service in Record of Ragnarok.
There is, but I wasn't really happy with it. I'm supposed to be happy with Aphrodite, and I'm not. It's like I'm the whole joke with the throne holding up her boobs all the time and her boobs flying up her face. It did nothing for me. We'll get into it. There were a couple moments of fan service like, oh, I could be okay here, but most of it didn't get into me.
You're a monster.
Then what was that?
You're a monster.
I'm not a monster. Then I found this one yesterday that there's a nice little top 8 list of these should be made into live action anime too.
Oh, you did it again.
Yeah.
He did it again.
What?
Legatus.
Legatus.
So that's my bot, Legatus. That's
bot.
One of my special bots.
That's a bot.
To help out with my streaming stuff. It's not a person.
That's twice. Twice you did it now. Anyway, so I got a top 8 of things in live action. Then and then something else. I'm gonna bring this up because I saw it in the chat. Carl Carlson brought it up here. So we'll talk about this for a minute, but we'll warm up with this one. So yeah, there's this thing going out there. Animated News Network broke this article. And first of all, Anime News, it should be known, those of you who are here probably do know that Anime News Network 20 years ago was a reputable source for anime. 20 years ago. Now it is a left-wing hack garbage website. So anything that comes out of there, I usually take with a grain of salt, although this is news. But listen, all right. So Carl Carlson, hail Carl Carlson, hail everybody else across the chat. We're happy to have you guys here. Hit the like button.
I just realized it's on.
Oh, I see your chat on your window there.
Yeah, I see my chat on my window, but give me a moment.
Yeah. Hail across chats. We're happy to have everybody here. Hit the like button. Links for description below, in the description below for everybody's channels. So Sony, because they own Crunchyroll and therefore they own Funimation, are putting together this academy to nurture creators across global markets. Now, some black pillars out there going, oh, it's doomed. Anime is doomed. Sony's going to censor everything. No, listen. Funimation and Crunchyroll are not the be-all, end-all.
Netflix exists. And it's weird for me to say Netflix exists, but yes, Netflix exists. Amazon's been dabbling a little bit, and
Captain Jack exists. Captain Jack exists.
Captain Jack exists. There's a lot of things that exist that
majority of people go to Captain Jack for anime new releases. They don't wait for, even though Crunchyroll is simulcast, they go to fan subbers because fan subbers do a better job in a lot of ways. So Funimation, Crunchyroll, and that's the problem. We've talked about this in the past. There's this whole thing where the shill websites like CBR, like all those ones, want to try and make you think that Crunchyroll makes anime. Crunchyroll is a streaming distributor. That's all they are. They are not an anime workshop. They are not an anime developer. They're not a studio. They're a streaming distributor.
And the one time Crunchyroll tried to make, I think they tried to make 2 original animes. One of them came out, flopped majorly because it was dog shit, and the other one never saw the light of day.
I think I know the one you're talking about on Crunchyroll that came out and flopped. I think I know.
It was like a Steven Universe ripoff magical
Yes.
girl thing.
Yes, that was a disaster. High Life something or other. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something life.
Hi-Fi Life or something
Yeah,
like that.
I
It
think
was
that's somewhere in
something.
that. Yeah, that was a complete disaster, and it got destroyed. So I see something like this, and I just go, whatever, because the anime studios, the actual anime studios, they're making it for their country. They're not making it to put it on Crunchyroll so a bunch of people in the West could watch it, because people are going to find it no matter what. So you see this, and it's that was it. Thank you, Carl Carlson. High Guardian Spice. That's what it was called.
High Guardian Spice.
I knew it was High something. High Life. I get High on Life. So yeah, it was that. But you see this thing with Sony and Crunchyroll, and as usual, I will just say, let's not rush to ring the alarm bells. Let's not freak out. Let's not worry. Go ahead.
What I'll say is, like, Disney's doing the same thing right now. Disney, like Japanese Disney execs are coming out saying, "Hey, we are going throughout all these anime studios, and we're saying we need to start pushing, more inclusive, quit being what we are." And they're being rejected. We're getting more and more creators from Japan coming out and saying, "No, we need to be doing this for us,
and
we need to be
we're
doing this way."
And we're going to touch on that with our discuss first real separate non-show related discussion topic tonight, where the creator of Kill La Kill, which we have reviewed on this channel, that thing is 99% fan service. Entire thing. There's just cheesecake and boob everywhere, and it's glorious. And he says, "Yeah, fan service. It's a good thing." And all these little weirdos who go on social media say, I saw one recently. I think it said, what was it? He so and so started watching this show. Oh yeah, I started watching. We've watched it. Fire Force. It's like I started watching Fire Force, and I'm all excited. And then there's all this obscene fan service. My God, it's disgusting. First of all, it's Fire Force is one of those equal opportunity fan services where the dudes. There's as much dude beefcake as there is cheesecake in that one. And the only fan service you get a couple of showers, and then there's Lucky Letcher. When her Lucky Letcher kicks in. Other than that, it's yes, there's a lot of big boobs, but there's no real boobage. And Lucky Letcher denies us the full view, the full Monty. So to cry about fan service, especially in something like that, it's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Like the closest thing to the closest thing to truly showing you something is when the sister pours water over her while she's wearing her white gown, and you can see the outline. That's the closest thing.
And there's been a couple of, and that time Maki was in the shower. Oh, Maki was in the shower. That's a good one. Maki was in the shower, all sudsed up, all washing. I'm like, yeah, just change your camera angle. She's fit.
She's a muscle mommy.
She's not a muscle. No, she's fit. She's not a muscle mommy. She's not. She's just fit. She's really
She's a
fit.
muscle mommy.
She's not a muscle mommy. No. Like the Valkyrie chick that bonded with the sumo dude, that's a freaking muscle mommy.
No, that's a trans.
See, now you just made this worse. You just made it worse. That doesn't help.
Yeah. Listen.
I thought that
when we get into Record of Ragnarok here in a bit, I will say I love the show. That's the one character. It's like, I don't like your design. I love everything else about you. I don't like your design. You're creepy.
I thought that was just I thought that was your standard oversized muscle mommy anime chick. That was a dude.
No, it wasn't a dude.
Oh,
I just said that to creep you out because I don't like her model at all.
Oh, well,
I like her as a character. I don't like how she's designed.
Yeah, but that's a muscle mom. That's a muscle mommy. Anyway, you know what? Let's get into it. We're dancing. We'll keep talking the other side stuff, and we won't start this. So Record of Ragnarok, 2 seasons through Netflix. I believe there is manga source material. Am I
There
correct
is
on that?
manga source material. I believe, I don't think it's done yet, but it's nearing its end. And I have seen what the upcoming fights are. I don't know what the outcomes are. I refuse to look at the outcomes because I love this show so
I can understand that.
much. And I'm excited. I'm excited for some of the fights that are coming up because, and I'll say this: what they've mainly been focusing in on, and like a lot of the fights have been Norse, Grecian. I know they did one Hindu fight, and then I still don't know where
Well,
Zero
they've
Fuka is
used a
from.
lot
I
of
think that
Japanese protagonists on the
they use a lot of
Mandalorian side
Japanese
as well.
protagonists, but they are gonna do they're gonna bring in some Egyptian gods here, some more biblical style gods. I like what they're doing, and there's some interesting heroes coming up, and I'm
All right. Well, here's the thing. All right, Jeremy, set us up. Set us up. What is
okay. So
this is your month? So what is Record of Ragnarok?
Record of Ragnarok is a very simple story. The gods are ready to destroy Earth and bring down upon them true Ragnarok. Because in this world, the gods actually exist, and they have all the pantheons together. Each pantheon truly works together. Yes, maybe one's more Grecian, one's more Nordic, one's more Egyptian, one's more Hindi, but they're all in one giant council. And they're trying to bring on Ragnarok. But not fully explained outright yet. I think there's a little bit more to the story behind it. The leader of the Valkyries, Brunhilde, doesn't want to destroy humans yet, has some animus against the gods, and is deciding, because she's a demigod, she's half god, half human, that she is going to be siding on the era of humans and invokes within the gods' constitutional act the Record of Ragnarok, which is a 13-round fight in which the gods fight against the humans, and whoever wins gets to
Best of
decide
7.
whether, best of 7. Whoever wins gets to decide whether the
Or
Earth
7 first.
is
Sorry. That's the other one. 7. Whoever
first to
gets
7.
7 wins.
First to 7, yeah.
First to 7. Yeah. First 7.
Who they end up deciding if the Earth lives or dies, and it's a fucking epic fight where you have powerful gods coming out and battling heroes throughout the ages, and not all of them are actually like heroes. Some of them are
Villains.
like Adam.
No, villains.
Well,
I mean,
villains is
Jack the
my
Ripper
one
is a
favorite
villain.
character.
Jack the Ripper is a villain.
But beings from history coming to battle gods or potential gods, and in these epic fights. And I'll admit it, the first fight kind of weak, second fight better, third fight season 2 fights 100 times better. And I love every second of it because it's fights where you grow to learn a little bit about each character. Some characters have more, and I'll safely say it. The very first fight, Thor versus, and I can never remember his goddamn name.
Stay away from Lubu.
Thor versus Lubu. Kind of boring.
Very boring.
Two very strong guys. Two very strong guys coming at it. It's fun in the sense that these are two fucking strong guys going at it with everything they have. Lubu's story's kind of weak. All he wants to do is fight.
Let me jump in right here, and I watched the Thor Lubu fight first. Of course, it's the first 3 episodes, and when I was done with them, I DM'd to Dermy, and I still stand by this. I hated every second of those first 3 episodes, and I was very, very angry watching it. And I powered through the entire season 1 that night, pretty much. Because I couldn't get to sleep for reasons, and you talk about how you're getting some stuff on each of the fighters, right? You mentioned that, but here's the problem with this story, this series, the execution. From my perspective, as a storyteller and somebody who's been watching anime for decades, the execution with which we're doing fight and then suddenly, let's jump to backstory. It, for a lot of times, it massively destroys the momentum of the fight. And it pulls me out each time. And it didn't help that they did it the worst job with that first 2 ones, because Thor, 0 fucking story, and we're wasting time watching him come out and kill. Also, on the dub, the pronunciation of these people with the dub is god awful. They can't pronounce half the stuff properly.
I thought they were pronouncing it relatively well.
Some things they were pronouncing terribly. I'd have to go back and look, but there like several things pronunciations were just completely off. Like I believe they said Etton's wrong, or or other things. There's a lot of things they said.
I think
wrong.
they said Jotun's wrong.
Yeah,
I think they said Jotun's Ettons.
Not a lot of things, but it was consistent. I guess the chronicler, the third person omniscient voice was always pronounced. A lot of things get pronounced wrong throughout the whole thing, but that's a nitpick, and that's not going into my overall distaste for this show as a whole. But that first fight, it's one giant hit. Let's give 10 minutes of backstory on each guy, and I'm just pulled out. And there's a trope in this, and this is a standard trope in a lot of anime, and it's either executed well or, in my opinion, done really bad. And this is also something I said to Jeremy, so I give him a heads up, because we each deserve a heads up, I think, if somebody's going to be coming in hot with the opposite take, likely. Because ever since Jed blindsided me with the golden child debate, I always feel like somebody needs to get a heads up. You're not coming in happy, so that we can have a legitimate debate and not just have the other guy on his heels, not ready for it. I really think there's too much dialogue in this. There's too much peanut gallery dialogue, especially from Gaul, who needs to have her head stepped on fast. She is annoying.
I love Gaul.
He's mad. I know he's crying. Oh my god. She is a doom flag machine. She's a doom flag machine. We're winning now. No, you're gonna lose.
She's crying because she truly wants to win, and then when she starts realizing that her sisters are dying, she cares about them. She's watching people that she knows and loves permanently leave existence.
There you go. She cares so much about the people. We know nothing about her relationships with any of these people that are dying. The show,
it's to be inferred that she cares. It's to be inferred,
and she's annoying about it. She's always whining and crying. I don't care if she's being empathetic. She's an idiot. She's moron.
She's the youngest, and she's fine. And she's.
Are you happy, horrible. Brother Hercules is dead? Are you?
Yeah.
Just shut up.
Yeah, because she's taking her anger out on Brune, who, by the way, Brune's a vile human.
Brunhilde is also annoying. I don't like her either.
Awful. I
don't like anybody in this.
But she's an awful human.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's one person I like. I liked Buddha. That was it. Only liked Buddha.
I could figure that from the freaking.
Well, also his stance is kind of it fit with what I wanted to do here. But he's the only one I like.
Ripper's the best. Jack the Ripper's the best.
Listen, he got the most backstory out of anybody in this. And
I slightly disagree.
No, they fucked up Hercules' backstory. That's not Hercules' backstory.
I knew you were gonna bitch about the lore. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Listen, the Japanese don't give a fuck about mythology. I know this, but that's not how it works with Hercules. Hercules literally was born a demigod. He didn't drink ambrosia or eat ambrosia to become a demigod. He was born a demigod, and he gets elevated to godhood after his 12 labors in order to defend Olympus later on from one of the final threats that it faces. But his whole, I'm a scrawny human and I got strong, and then I drank this to fight Ares, and then I'm bro buddies with Ares. No, that's not Hercules' back. What about the fact that Hercules went berserk and killed his family because of Hera? What about all that stuff? What about Hera's hatred of him? I mean, they crafted a fake backstory for Hercules, which ruins it. Hercules, that is his personality. They got that right, but his backstory is all kinds of fucked up, and it pissed the hell out of me. Of course, they got Adam wrong, because there's no monotheistic God in this.
Which I don't mind. I love what they did. Still, I love what they did with almost every character. The only two characters I don't like is Thor and Lubu, and the only reason because of that is you said it best, and I can agree with this. Thor and Lubu's fight is big man strike at big man.
Yeah.
Lubu's through the backstories, you find out why each character is the way they are and what maybe some of their dreams are. Lubu's only dream was to
fight.
find a worthy opponent. Same
Yeah.
with Thor. They just wanted a worthy opponent that could take their goddamn hits. That's all they ever cared about. So it was to fight. And when it comes to Thor, they're hinting there's more to Thor coming. There is more to Thor coming, and I want to know what's coming with Thor. I want to know what are you gonna do? What's happening
See,
here?
I'm not interested in anything because here's the thing. With the exception of Thor versus Lubu, everything's predictable. As soon as
Really?
Zeus tags
Well,
himself in to fight
yeah,
in
I
the
could agree
second
with that
round,
one.
Adam is
I
not
could agree
beating
with that
Zeus.
one.
Zeus is the head of the pantheon in this version of mythology that they've created for this. He's not going down. And
I
then
could
in the
agree with that one.
and then the third fight, of course the humans were going to come back in the third fight. You knew they were going to come back.
Okay, so the first 3 fights, yes, you're right. It's relatively predictable. Except I think the Lubu Thor fight, when this is your like first time going in,
I
you
couldn't
don't know what's
predict that
going to
one.
happen.
I couldn't
Yeah.
predict it. But after that, it's like, okay, we're gonna go either streaks back and forth. And then as I'm watching it break down, it was easy for me to see where it was gonna go. And depending on how the backstories are told, it's also easy to see how it's gonna go. The only one I will say I wasn't sure of was Shiva versus Sumo Guy. Although about halfway through it, I realized no, they're gonna give it to Shiva. They're going to give it to Shiva. They have to because
I
of
didn't know.
because of his buddy in the rafters. Because
Well,
of
same with Hercules. Hercules' buddy was in the rafters.
no, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. He's a dead human brought back. Shiva's buddy had been wandering and they hadn't had contact in years, and he didn't think he was going to show up to back him from the stands. No, him showing up, being there, and you got this, giving his bro shout out there, he was gonna win it. When he showed up in the Raptors, I was like, okay, now I know he's gonna win it. Up until that point, it was either or because the Sumo Guy had a compelling backstory and all that stuff, and he was a solid dude and just wanted to actually not disrespect the legacy of sumo.
He had a similar story as to Lubu.
I would say it's actually better because he actually Lubu was a selfish fuck. And that's historically true. Lubu was a selfish asshole. This dude, he was working for his family, working for himself, and he didn't want to. He hated that he couldn't fully respect the art of sumo. And here was his first chance to do it.
When I say he has a similar story to Lubu, you're right. He wanted to respect sumo, but he also wanted to have that full-fledged fight for the very first time in his goddamn life. And just like with Lubu, Lubu had a lot of fights. Lubu was never able to unleash his full power. That's the same thing that the Sumo Guy wanted to do. He wanted to actually unleash his full power for the first time. That's why big muscle gorilla monster thing, her weapon for him was a body armor, essentially.
It was an exoskeleton of sorts where he can manipulate his muscles. But the exception of that one, everything else we do. I knew Jack the Ripper was going to beat Hercules. There's no with Hercules shouting, "I'm going to protect you, man." It was like, "Oh, you're going down. You're going down. You're done. You're done, Hercules." When you're seeing the tattoos, when they reveal the tattoo time limit of covering his body, there was no way he was either going to lose that way or he was going to get flat out beat. And Jack the Ripper's backstory had too much going for it for him to get killed off. Just too much. So yeah, all right,
I think episodes fights 4 through 6, I think we're a little bit more unpredictable than what you're saying here.
Buddha was not going to lose.
I did not know what was going to happen there.
Okay, listen, it's again the predictability. It's always looks like somebody's winning. Oh, new super power up. As soon as Devilman came around, I was like, oh, okay, now Buddha's going to be pushed to his limits, but Buddha's going to figure it out. Now power of friendship weapon with the little god with what's his name?
Zero Fuku.
Now that's a nice little moment, but as soon as there was no way Buddha was going to lose because for the Shimgo moment, and now you can call me a dirty old man, when he said, "I'm going to make you pay Brunhilde," I translated that as, yes, you're going to give that ass up. She has to give
You're
that
a dirty old man.
I am a dirty old man.
You're a dirty, dirty old man.
There's no
Brunhilde. Brunhilde is the most unlikable character in this entire thing, and they try to make her likable, but all of her actions are always,
I'm not going to disagree.
truly evil.
She's a bitch.
She is a bitch. I still like the show. She's just unlikable, and I think they designed her to be unlikable. They try to make her a little bit likable, yet understand that she has a heart, but no, she's just unlikable. She's evil. She's not doing this for what she says she's doing this. She's doing this for completely selfish reasons. And that makes Goal her opposite. Goal does care. Goal is this person that truly cares about everybody, and she's watching her sister send them all down to potentially die. Which, by the way, what I do like about the Buddha fight, and because I have not read the Ant manga, they animated all the manga on YouTube. I don't know if that's continued or if those got copyrighted.
I don't like that kind of stuff anyway. I like that.
I don't either, but I haven't looked into it because Buddha doesn't use a Valkyrie. There is one Valkyrie that gets to survive, and I'm willing to bet this might be predictability aspect. It's gonna be Gull because Brunhilde is gonna have her hero moment. Finally, is gonna be her sacrificing herself.
And Gull's gonna have to. They teased it for these first 2 seasons. Gull's gonna have to come to realization. She's gonna have to grow up. She have to commit, and she can't just be whining and crying. And Gull's gonna be the final weapon for whoever when it's all tied up 6-6, and it's the final fight. It's gonna be her.
No, it can't be her. It's either gonna be her or Brunhilde at the end. Brunhilde is either gonna sacrifice herself or she's gonna throw Gull to the wolves.
Well, Brunhilde can't sacrifice herself because humanity has to win. Humanity's not going to lose. It's just a matter of how they're going to go about doing it. That's how I look at it. I mean,
so there's 13 Valkyries, okay?
Yeah.
Buddha didn't use a Valkyrie. There will be one Valkyrie that survives.
Well, actually, wait a minute.
Brunhilde or Gull.
Wait a minute. Gull can't do it because she hasn't trained with the Volander. She can't do it. I just realized that. Gull doesn't know what she can't. She's not been trained to do Volander.
Unless Brunhilde start in like next season or so. Brunhilde.
Yeah, this shit's happening moment to moment. There's no break between any of these. It's like literally 5 minutes later and next fight.
Like
there's no long passage of time between these fights.
And it is in the spirit world. There's probably no point because they probably don't get as exhausted.
And they've already hinted that Zeus might tag himself in again at some point.
I highly doubt that.
He said, "I'm ready to go back in," because
he's not. He's not. I know the next fights, and he's
not the next fight. I mean, well, we already know the next fight is.
Hades, I know what the next fights are.
Zeus dude. I mean,
I don't know who that blind dude is.
I don't know.
Well, I do, but I think he's either a Chinese or a Japanese.
It's probably Japanese.
Listen,
an anime is given a lot of heavy Japanese winners here.
yeah, a lot of Japanese winners.
I do respect the fight that the what's his name, Sojiro. I do respect the dual wield win. I respect the dual wield win. You guys know I'm a dual wield fanboy. I respect the dual wield win, but it was. See, here's the thing: they could have cut a lot of these down by like 1 episode each. They could have trimmed this shit down. These fights go on way too long.
I'm fine with it.
See, I think they go on too long. They could be some...
I think they found this perfect formula of episode 1's about one character, episode 2 is about a second character, then episode 3 is the finishing blows.
Yeah, but didn't
episode the first
in season 2 they went. I mean, there were 10 episodes. No, there were 12 episodes in season 1. Yeah, 12.
And season 2 they started doing like 4.
Yeah, they stretched it out even more.
Yeah, which they allowed them to get a little bit more backstory, a little bit more into each character, flesh them out a little bit. That's why when it comes to like each character, like the fights even, and like the stories behind each fight, season 1, and this is how you can.
First Emperor of China, is that who it is?
I could believe that because they said that because remember her exact words were an eye for an eye, a fang for a fang, a king for a king.
Okay.
So I didn't know who he was. I didn't. I looked up his name. I had no idea. But
I bet Hades wins that fight, though.
I'm willing to bet that too.
Hades wins that fight.
Yeah,
because the gods have to go back up 1. Got to create.
Yeah.
Listen, humanity is not gonna get the upper hand until they'll make it to 6 wins first, and then the gods are gonna surge back and get the remaining wins, and then it'll come down to the big all final 7th fight, or who could get. It'll be a 6 on.
It
It'll
is
be a
going to be
6
the
to 6.
7th.
Yeah.
You can predict that it's going to be, like they put on like a good showing. But here's this is how you can think of the first 3 fights, and this is really easy. Like the first 3 fights are really a message to humanity. If you sit down and think about it, first fight, and just besides the whole Lubu versus Thor. Lubu's whole dream is just have a one true fight. It's also to humanity. You can be on par with the gods. You can be equal to the gods and be seen as like maybe a worthy rival to them. Second fight, Adam versus Zeus, which I love that fight, even though I knew Adam was going to die because it's Zeus.
It's Zeus, and also where was Zeus's lightning? He never used lightning in the fight.
I think they were trying to imply that he never did use lightning. He was something completely different. They've
I know. I said it before. The Japanese will twist mythology to suit their needs for creative purposes. I get that.
They have a 4th brother that's dead and was erased from history.
Yeah. That was like, who the fuck is this? That's not
Which
real.
I did not have a problem with, but because that goes to tell you how bad Poseidon is. But when it comes to Adam versus Zeus, it's not just Adam's doing this because of these are his children. He wants does a father need a reason to protect his children? That whole line. Then on top of that, you have that message to humanity is you can actually put the gods on their back foot. You can actually push them.
I don't have
and then the final fight is you can win.
I don't have a problem with the messaging of a lot of stuff. My problem mostly with the show is the execution. I don't like the way this series is executing itself. I don't really like the way the fights are being choreographed overall. Because again, I feel as though they build up tension and momentum and then just pull up short and give us 20 minutes of Shiva's backstory to show us, oh, Shiva's not a bad guy, even though he's been a dick for an entire season before that. He's not a bad guy. I know it's supposed. Oh, it's Adam. You're yelling about character development. I'm yelling about it being done in a poor way for me, where it's pulling me out of the whatever remote entertainment I'm getting. It's just yanking me out to pull me up short for this fight stuff.
You brought up character development. I think because you mentioned season 1, Shiva is a fucking dick. Season 2, Shiva, you find out that he's a good guy, and then he starts sitting. You see him healing. Part of me wonders if the gods aren't going to win, and my whole reason for that is after each fight that the gods do win, that you've been starting to see like they actually do have some modicum respect for humanity thus far. Part of me wonders that they might actually win in the end and just say, you know what, humanity actually put on a good showing, a good fight, and we're gonna
feel like that's a cop out. If that's how
it does feel like a cop out. It does feel like a cop out. That's why it's also very easy that the humans do win, because that's like just a narrative structure.
Yeah, it's bad. Part of me, it's normal narrative structure. Yeah,
because one of the things that goes to like my idea of humanity, gods are probably seeing more and more respect for humanity is Thor. They've been teasing there's something going on with Thor through all this. Yes, he's very quiet. He doesn't do a whole lot. But you got Thor, watching these fights, Thor interacting, and it did seem like Thor had a bit of respect for humanity at the end. He doesn't really care about all the politics and stuff. He just wants to fight. And he has a little bit more respect for them after Lubu and all that going on. So and even Zeus admitted like the humans put him on his back foot. Now they get pissed off every time they lose because gods are inherently narcissistic, vindictive assholes. But it is interesting. I think the real big bad is going to be Odin, obviously. Well, Odin or Beelzebub.
No, Beelzebub, he's afraid of Odin. Or at least he's easily countable. I don't think Beelzebub's our big bad.
I think Beelzebub, and so it's going to be one of the two. And my reasoning for that is Beelzebub obviously has his own storyline going on, his own things. And then Odin's doing Odin stuff. And he's already hinted that he has something else he wants to do.
Here's the thing. I just feel as though I get teased with one sort of thing. Like I thought it was going to be Buddha versus Loki, because that.
Oh, I wanted that fight.
they put that right there. I'm like, oh, okay, they're setting up Buddha versus Loki. Fine. But then they bring out Zero Fuku and what made up Zero Fuku. And while in the end, it ended up being a legitimate beef between them, they had to give us all that backstory to get to the legitimacy of it. Whereas all we needed from Buddha and Loki was Loki going to pick a fight with him. And I was already somewhat invested in seeing them throw down.
Um,
So some of the narrative choices bother me as well. And
so
that's it.
I could see why you thought it was going to be Buddha versus Loki. I think they were setting up Loki to go up against that tiny guy.
Oh, maybe.
Because they and I could see it, like, it could have gone either way, but like the seven gods of fortune or whatever they were, they said, hey, they were warning Buddha, if you fuck up again and go against the gods again, we're going to be the ones that come after you.
I know, but
they were
was
kind of like weak and pathetic, and like, what are these really that tough of guys? The only real tough one is the one that was constantly CGI animated, and it did not look good, but it made you wonder, like, hey, what's going on here? And then they show you Zero Fuku, who I don't even know if it was a real god or a made up god.
I don't know. Listen, there are a lot of gods in Japan. There are a lot of gods in Japan.
Well, so I don't even know if he's a Japanese god or if he's a Hindu god.
Well, that was a Japanese god. Those seven fortune, they said specifically they were seven gods of fortune in Japan, and they used Japan art style to depict them. So the
only problem that I have with it is like Zero Fuku Japanese,
was definitely
or what is it? But
when he was he was in the subcontinent when he went to that village. But they made the seven gods of fortune the Japanese version. So, but then again, this for the fourth time, I think we're saying this now. Japanese will fuck with mythology to suit their storytelling purposes, and that's a tried and true thing. I usually don't have a problem with it. I feel the execution in this one's a little off. Also, because I'm going to say this now, I'm not a fan of the art style of this show. Really, it's kind of it's not really doing it for me.
Other than the CGI, I loved almost every way that people were designed, how it looked, how it flowed. It's something beautiful for my eyes.
I know it's not so much the flow; it's just the style. There's something about it where I'm not really. My eyes are. I'm not pleased. I don't get that pleasant feeling of watching good animation when I'm watching this. I'm just not. And it's a stylistic choice, and that doesn't take away from that. That's not affecting my overall judgment. That's a personal, subjective thing, and I know I shouldn't. That doesn't play a role in our discussion. I'm just saying I'm not a fan of this animation the way it's going, and I'm also not a fan of some of the ways they're choosing to depict the gods and how they look. I think in some cases it's a little weird. Like, first of all, Zeus. They've gone with him being the youngest of his siblings, yet they're all still looking fit and cool, and he's just scraggly little shaky old man who does standard Japanese old man buff up routine when he has to fight.
And then Asmodeus,
which
is nightmare fuel.
But it's just I don't like the choices that they've made, but it's a personal thing, and I'm not gonna hold it against.
So I think when it comes to Zeus, one of the things they were balancing out is they're also saying, because Zeus is the creator of man, I think they're trying to combine like the God with Zeus and trying to give like a balancing act between the two.
But here's the thing too: they have Brunhilde constantly in season 1 being annoyed that he's a pervy old man, but you then don't have a chance to perfectly set up how he is a pervy old man, being the father of Hercules. They don't actually show any of Zeus's. Zeus literally was the horn dog of the Greek pantheon. He effed everything in every way, shape, literally, and form. He would,
rightfully so.
I mean, he could turn into a shower of gold and impregnate a woman. Okay, that's how masterful he was in the art of seduction. They hint at it, but they don't actually take advantage of it when they could. They have set it up with Hercules, like, no, you didn't have him be his direct son. Later, just, he drank the blood of Zeus or ambrosia. That's, again, weird little thing that they did there. And then have him be he's one of my sons. It doesn't make sense. And you know what I also appreciate? I don't appreciate turning Ares into a fucking idiot. I don't appreciate that. He's a moron. Oh, did you see what's going on? Oh yeah, I got it. I got it.
I kind of, I would say I kind of don't mind it because I think he's kind of like the opposite version of Goal, where Goal is that way for humanity, Ares is that way for
But then
gods,
there's
and
like zero threat from Ares. He's not. I don't think he's going to
I
be
don't
on
even
the.
think he's a fighter in the tournament.
I did pause it and read the list of who's supposed to be on the rosters.
He might, and I keep forgetting.
Don't think I saw his name. I don't remember. I'd have to go back.
I think that's maybe why they're playing around with him a little bit. He's not really that big of a threat. Yeah, he went toe to toe with Hercules, and Hercules still kicked his ass. So
yeah, and Hercules has already been beaten by Jack.
Which, by the way, that is my favorite fucking fight in the entire show. Jack the Ripper versus Hercules, because it is one of those moments where I was at this point where I don't know who I want to root for. I want to root for humanity, and I do like Jack, but I also want to root for Hercules because I like Hercules. I like his story. I like what he's doing, and his quest is a noble quest. But then on the flip side, you got Jack the Ripper, who you start off hating Jack the Ripper, and this is one of the reasons why I love anime. You start off hating Jack the Ripper because my God, he's a goddamn serial killer monster.
Well, it was a nature versus nurture situation.
Yeah,
and he was nurtured into his psychopathy.
He never felt love, which is sad. But then by the end of it, you're satisfied with the fight, even though it's sort of bittersweet. Like, you don't mind the outcome, but it's still sad to have the outcome.
I knew what the outcome was going to be, so I'd already prepared myself. Oh, Hercules is going to die. The humans need to win this. This is a must-win situation to tie it up. And Jack the Ripper's story was way too detailed for him to get offed, as opposed to Hercules, who made, like I said before, the proclamation, "I'm going to stand for humanity when I win this." Oh,
and Jack's my favorite character, and I think they're going to do more with Jack. They already hinted that it's against the rules to fight outside the ring. I think they're going to have some showdowns outside the ring. I think they're going to have some fights going on out there, and maybe some gods that survived are going to fight some of the humans that survived.
I'm going to bring this up. Just because I'm trying to think outside the box how this show can surprise me, and I guess I am not going to watch season 3 whenever it comes out. I'll rely on you to tell me how it goes. I'm not.
Oh, I will.
Interested.
I'll gladly ingratiate you with the glory of Record of Ragnarok.
You can just tell me who wins and why, and that'll be fine. But when they were setting up that fight, but when the pre-Buddha fight, where everybody's going to be annoyed with Buddha, and he was fighting with Loki, and the other mankind contestant came in, I knew they weren't going to let that fight go anywhere. I knew Zeus get interrupted. And going back to what we're talking about before, of how do we think this is going to end? Do you think the gods are going to win, and then they're going to find that they have more faith in humanity after this stuff? And there's evidence for that. You've pointed it out. When Shiva already says at the end of his fight, that guy was pretty cool, and they have respect for Sojiro after that. And Adam, what he did, it's all the groundwork is being laid for that. So it's a legitimate possibility. At the same time, it makes a better narrative, classic story sense that humanity prevails and overcomes the gods, even though the gods are cheating or whatever. To me, a better ending is a third option. A third party enters this and disrupts it. I don't know where it comes from.
That happens.
I don't know where it comes. I'm just thinking outside the box here of what would make this more entertaining for me and to subvert the expectations of the two possible probable outcomes. A third party forces humanity and the gods to reconcile and deal with that.
Well, I don't think that happens again. I haven't looked up the fights since the season 2 ended, because I was just curious who fights. Didn't look up who wins or loses, because I was just curious. I don't think there is like a third option, but to that end, they're hinting that there's more going on than what meets the eye, especially with Odin going to Beelzebub. Like you pointed out, Odin has basically hinted he wants something else. Like, there's more to this fight than he's letting on. And I want to know, what is this other thing? What do you want? Because they're going with the god of death version of Odin. They're not going with the all-knowing being.
All
Yeah,
father.
the All-Father. They're going with his death form because he's
Yeah.
their embodiment of death, which I love some of the imagery they've done with him and some of the artworks where he's just a skull.
One other thing then too, I want to bring up is that I how do I put this? You know, go ahead, make your next point. Because I have to refocus my thoughts on this.
I'm more working on trying to figure out what you were gonna say right now. Just so because
oh
I'm in the defending position. Like if I'm gonna keep going forward, I like how they do
mhm.
besides Thor versus Lubu. I do enjoy the here's a break. Let's talk about these characters and let you find out about these characters.
I
Maybe
just
they
think
could do it in a different way,
the
but I
pacing.
find
It's
it.
the
Mhm.
pacing that is my problem
What
with that. It's
I like it because you take a look at like Sojiro versus Poseidon. They did all of Poseidon stuff to try to tell you like Poseidon's a fucking freak and it will just kill everybody, even his own brothers. He does not care. He is his own, he is a beast, and he's not the accurate version of Poseidon, like we've already said,
yeah.
but he doesn't give a shit. He's gonna kill because he's a destroyer. Whereas Sojiro, when you're doing his thing, it's like, did he come here as an old man? They say, well, it's because that's his best, why he's in his best state as an old man. Then he's the number one underdog, number one under the sun.
World's
It's like, why is he like
greatest
that? The
history's
world's
greatest
greatest
loser.
loser,
History's
history's
greatest loser.
greatest loser. And it's like, why is he called that? And you go through his story, he's never won a legitimate fight, but he trained so much to the point that he
And
was better than everybody, which
there's
is
nothing
weird.
there's nothing wrong with that backstory. I just think the
Mhm.
pacing is off because it takes away from what we're here to do. We're here to watch these people fight. And that's where I go back to my animation. I think the animation, even though they don't cheat and reuse frames and stuff like that, every motion is legitimate. I feel as though sometimes they
So
they they are they're not being for some of these fights, they should be giving us more
I will
than
say
exchange.
they sort of cheat, but they cheat when they need to cheat because it's when they're doing like Adam versus
Rapid
Zeus when they're
exchange
doing the
cheat.
rapid
That's
rapid
classic.
exchange.
I don't
That's
count
not
that. I don't count
a
that.
fair cheat, but it is
Yeah.
technically a cheat.
Yeah, I don't count that though because
Mhm,
everybody does that, and
mhm.
all anime does that, unless it's something like we talked about previously, like with a Fate Stay Night, where they will go literally frame for frame and give and not cheat and give you every
Or
bloody
Gundam.
blow, or Gundam. Well, later Gundam shows do cheat. I
Well,
mean,
G Gundam. G Gundam is notorious for reusing frames.
Gundam Seed cheated too, and Destiny cheated. They cheated, and people always yelled at it for that. I don't care. It's only usually for a frame. It's not for the
Mhm.
actual full fight. But you know what I mean. For me, when I say they cheat, is that they aren't delivering on some of the full impact of some of these things. It's like we should
Mhm.
see more, maybe get a closer look, maybe have it be a little more intricate, not just giant over swathing attack and moving on to the next part. It's just, for me. It goes with the
I
pacing too, because then once we're back in the
and
fight, I want more, and you're
mhm.
not giving me more.
And maybe I disagree with you because I think they're giving it to us just right, especially with like the final episode becoming more of each fight becoming more of like this is the fight. Let's see what happens. How is this going to play out? Especially with Jack the Ripper versus Hercules. Oh my god, that was I legitimately did not know what was going to happen there. I was so enthralled with the fighting, and it just kept going and going, and they just
Well,
kept changing blows, and I was not expecting how he was going to win in the end.
maybe because I wasn't so enthralled that I was looking at it from a more analytical perspective, thinking from a storytelling perspective that this is going to end with Jack winning. There's no way he doesn't win at this point. It then maybe because I wasn't so pulled into it, that's how I was able to see he was going to win it.
And that's fair because I legitimately love this. I'm waiting. I can't wait for season 3, even though I only know like off the top of my head because I cannot pronounce a lot of the other human fighters. I do know they're going to go with Nikola Tesla as
I was going to
as one
say
of the
that was one of the things that was
contestants.
going to come up. But that is because I did see his name on the list.
Mhm.
That is one of the only ones that I am somewhat interested because I'd like to see what are they going to do with Tesla.
Because
How are they going
and
to work that in
this
there?
you brought up Fate. Nikola Tesla is within the Fate universe.
And you mentioned that too. Now that you brought it back up, I think that's one of the reasons why you probably like this. It's like a ghetto Fate Stay Night, friend. Part of the it's like
Mhm.
ghetto Fate Stay Night. I think that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons I think you like it. And there's a little misery porn in this too, which also appeals
A
to me.
little bit, but there's also, like, hope. Like, again, my favorite character is Jack the Ripper, because I love the way they did Jack the Ripper, and this is something I do like in storytelling, where they're gonna give you a miserable piece of shit that you
Well,
want to hate from the get-go, and then they tell
they
you the
had to
story, and
make it
you're
up
like,
because there is no
yeah, they
lore
had
outside
yeah,
of his murders. There is no real
mhm,
lore for Jack the Ripper,
and
so you had to make
they
something up.
made a character that you're predisposed to hate by nature. They made him likable and tragic and an enjoyable character nonetheless, and honestly, kind of a good guy.
Here's the
He
thing: he wasn't evil.
Mhm,
He was a villain because of his actions, but nurture turned him into it. His nature was not to be evil, but nurture turned him into a villain. I mean, I said that wrong. I didn't want to say it. Nature did make him a villain. Nurture turned him into a villain.
mhm,
And he didn't understand proper social cues at that point. So he just acted on the single desire that he had developed himself to see the colors of souls at certain with emotions. And
mm.
so when it was coming into it, I thought, okay, I'm not hating him as a villain. I don't think he's evil. I mean, they gave me his backstory. He's just his life sucked, and this is how he decided to go about doing it. Therefore, when the crowd is so angry, and once more, this is my earlier complaint of too much peanut gallery dialogue, diluting what should be stronger dialogue from the participants or more involved characters. Uh, I mean, listen, when we were doing Jack the Ripper and Hercules, I didn't really need Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Shakespeare talking. I didn't really need that.
Oh, I liked it.
I didn't need it.
I enjoyed their back and forth, and then you get honestly, the woman that did love him as a kid, the
Hey,
one little
listen,
woman there at
the
the
whore,
very end, she
the
the
whore,
whore,
the other
yeah,
whore.
but the other whore, but she did truly love and care about Jack, so when she
Yeah.
sees him up there fighting, she does feel sorry for him and says he's just never felt true love, and I do think she did love him, 'cause his mother was a bitch.
Oh, she was a horrible person.
She's
There's no
on par with
question.
frickin', she's on par with Brunhilde as awful.
Well, no, listen, Brunhilde may be awful, but Jack's mother was horrid. Brunhilde's just a bitch. Jack's mother was horrid, where her love wasn't really for him, it was for him as a tool to elevate her in society. And
Mhm,
so,
and that's what made Jack
yeah,
snap.
yeah.
And I do love the sumo guy's story as well, and I love that fight, but it's just the Jack versus Hercules fight is my favorite. I d Buddha versus Zero Fuku was a fun fight and an enjoyable fight, but it just out of all the fights, it's always going back to Jack versus Hercules, and I'm my fear is that gonna be my favorite fight throughout this entire story? Is there not gonna be a fight that tops that for me?
I see. You asked me before we
Mhm.
started this whole thing. You wanted to know what my favorite fight was going to
Yes.
be, and I don't really have one. I have moments that were interesting in each fight, but I don't really have a favorite fight, and I lends towards the fact that the predictability of it. I knew what was going to happen by realizing what's going to happen, how it's all going to play out. I'm not as
How
invested,
about how
so
about this?
I'm not really entertained.
Which okay, it's
And
not
Gaul never
entertaining.
shuts the
Which
fuck up.
you say Gull, I love Gull. She's cute and adorable, and she's a sort of a stand-in for the audience, but there is the peanut gallery that could also be the stand-in for the audience. But I think I like how it flows and how it works a whole lot better than you do, obviously.
Yeah.
I I'm trying to ask this question. Which is the fight you hated the least? How about that?
Hated the least. Well, I mean, hated the least. I didn't hate Jack versus Hercules because it was a well structured fight. It was at that point it was the most interesting one, having it take place in a facsimile of London. That was interesting. Uh the Buddha Zerafuku fight and eventually Papias fight, it was interesting because Buddha as a character was the only one I've really, and when I say like, is he's the one that I have no negative feelings towards Buddha because he, although I will criticize one thing concerning Buddha and everybody else, a lot of modern day dialogue makes it into the localization, and that hurts it for me. Buddha should
So
not be saying bro
I don't
back
mind
when
that.
I hate that.
I will
I also
give
hate the
my
term bro. I hate that term. I hate it.
I like bro as a term, and I think it does fit well with Buddha being a very relaxed, chill kind of
But
dude, going with
I
his
would
own
accept it
flow.
at this point in time,
Mhm.
not during his origin when it's supposed to be, whatever year it was in India, you know.
I guess that's fair. I didn't mind it. I can tell you my biggest criticism, and it is a dialogue criticism. When we're getting Papias and everything's going down and they zoom in on
Oh,
Brunhilde,
oh,
that is an awful line and an awful moment. It's like, the fuck? Why not just do
cursing.
what the hell? What?
This okay. Here is I've said this about a lot of things, not just
Mhm.
a show. I do not like cussing
Hmm.
in my anime. I don't like it when once in a blue moon, a shit or a fuck, fine. But there's there was too much cussing in this, and that's a Netflix problem.
That is a
Netflix,
Netflix problem,
that's a
but
Netflix problem with their
so I don't have a
localizations.
problem with the cussing because they do specifically say that like the one that cusses the most is Brunhilde, and they
Mm.
specify that's part of her
It's a
personality.
gag,
She's a
and
potty
yeah,
mouth.
yeah.
It's her gag. But that line and that
Well,
delivery was just so
Papias
it
in
was
general,
awful.
he's that's why I can't say it's my favorite fight because Papias starts off this giant menacing thing. He's going to talk very little bit, but then during the fight he starts going punishment, punishment, punishment. It's like, oh god, shut up,
So
just shut up now. You just ruined it. You ruined it.
so my this is gonna go to like the design choice. Like I liked Papias, I liked the fight. I understood why they were doing that. My issue with Papias is, and this is something they do with a lot of characters. I don't like the creepy smiles they'll start doing.
Yeah,
They're really unsettling.
and frankly, that fight should have been disqualified as soon as Papias
S-
became a thing because
Well, I
he didn't count. He doesn't count
so
as
I'm
a
going.
god. He's a
I don't
devil.
know. I don't know because I part of me wonders if they're not going to start like debating this at in the beginning of the next episode. Like, what do we do now? Like, this was unprecedented because they were even kind of implying like they don't know what to do. They don't know how to deal with this guy. Hades even said like he just randomly died one day. He was destroying almost all of hell. We didn't know what to freaking do with him. Like he just randomly appeared. So I was curious if Buddha can't kill this guy, what are they going to do? Is he going to go on this massive spree? That's why I was interested in that fight. But when it comes to Papias and why I didn't mind the punishment, 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 it was the exact same thing the seven the
Yeah,
seven gods of fortune were saying, which then went to what Buddha thought was, hey, he has these traits of Zerafuku. He's not the true Papias. He's not full Papias, and that can lead me to my victory.
I don't think the see. It's not so much saying punishment; it's the way it was done. The way he kept doing it in this goofy way that completely diminished the menacing aspect of a giant devil there. That's my problem with it. It's not that he was saying
Well,
punishment, it's him going punishment and doing and making
here
goofy faces.
here's my question to that one. We both like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Did you like Boo and Majin Buu and Kid
No,
Buu? Okay,
no.
that can explain why. Because I like Boo, Majin Buu, and Kid Buu. I think they're cool characters. I like their whole aesthetic and the things they do there, and they do a similar thing there. So that's why I probably don't have a problem with it. Is I don't mind that. I kind of enjoy that.
Well,
I don't mind like a crazy villain doing creepy kind of
no. See,
over the top goofy stuff from time
I
to
don't.
time.
I for me, it's like pick a lane.
Mhm.
Pick a lane. You've created this sudden menacing villain who is now going to be something Buddha has to actually take seriously because his main trick of precog ain't going to work. So now he has a problem. And at the first, like menacing,
Well,
and then goes from super menacing and daunting to goofy.
So
and
I
it
viewed it
just
as being super menacing and daunting and staying that way, but being creepy. Being like he's enjoying torturing you. He's enjoying hurting you and trying to kill you. That's why I didn't mind it. And that's why I liked, booing them. They're enjoying the pain that they're dealing on you. That's why they're getting those goofy faces.
see, I again pick a lane. That's all I can say. Pick a lane. Choose. Have your villain be a certain type of way, and if you're gonna give it different moods, have them be moods related to your. You can be creepy without being goofy. Is my thing. You can be creepy without goofy. And here's the other thing too, and I guess this is maybe a good point to bring it up. When you got all these fights going on, I think the show would be better served if at one point, instead of these long drawn out fights, just to walk two guys go in there and just an instant own. It's like boom, I ended this in a shot and it's over. And it could be a devastating thing for either side because you
So
wouldn't see it coming, and suddenly that shifts momentum and changes the flow of everything. Where suddenly they walked in a lot of this and that, and then just boom, I took you
I
out.
I do know that at least one of the characters coming up is going to be a bow and arrow user. I don't know who they have posing them. Either a bow and arrow or like a gun user. I don't remember. It was one of the two. So what I don't you wouldn't like it, but they'll probably still do like the three long on drawn thing, but they could end up doing it like a sniper battle where it is like a one shot kills the other one, but it's
Not just no, I'm not
hunting
talking
and kind
about
of
that's a
methodical.
variation of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about complete and total ownage. You walk
I
in
don't
and just boom, over. Look around. That's right. I just did this. I just changed the entire flow of everything.
I don't
That's all. To me, that would be a narrative shift and a flow shift in the entire thing, and it would shake it up and break to what me is the monotony of the back and forth of each fight.
so it would I don't like that with how the show's set up, and the reason I don't like that is because everybody's giving it all they have, and to have them send in a human that could not stand on par essentially with, say, Odin, because I would believe Odin would be the one that could do that. Them being dumb enough not to send somebody in there to do that, that would
Well,
yeah, I think that would be
I'm
a
just looking for
knock against the
something to
show.
shake up the
And
monotony
I
because
get that.
these fights to me are monotonous because they all have a pattern to them where it's a give and take, a raising of the stake of one side or the other, unlocking the next level of its strength, and then the final blow, or whatever happens. And I want something to change the flavor. And that I think that's part of my problem because I'm just sitting back waiting for, oh, here's this moment, expected this moment. Here we go. Here we go. Now conclusion. And as I said, after Blue Boo and Thor, I predicted every single outcome. About halfway through each fight, I could definitely predict each outcome once I had enough information based upon what the show was giving me in terms of me learning how the show behaves itself. I can now see how it's all unfolding. That's why I'm saying it's time. The gods are going to get a win again, and Hades is going to take that next fight. Because I don't think they're going to kill off another one of the top three Greek gods. They already killed off Poseidon.
And Hades has already said like the Greeks need their own vengeance and the Greeks need to get a freaking win.
Greeks haven't gotten their vengeance yet for the death of
Yeah.
Poseidon. They've
Not
taken
for the death of Poseidon or
and
Hercules. They've
yeah,
lost. They've only had one win.
and they're not going to kill off one of the top three of the Greek gods because they're not Zeus.
They
That's
already
why I said
did.
as soon. No. And again, I mean again.
Oh yeah,
They're
again.
not. As soon as Zeus took the stage, I knew that fight was going to go to Zeus. There's no even done. And as soon as Poseidon took the stage, oh, Poseidon's going to lose. And now Hades will not lose because he has to maintain the balance of that kind of thing. And frankly, I think it's going to go. And this is me predicting, and you can confirm it for me later on. And if you're and people in the chat, please don't spoil it, as neither of us. Jeremy knows when we spoiled, and I'm you by telling me you'd be spoiling Jeremy. So don't spoil what I say. I think Hades gets the next win, and that puts it at what? 5 to no, sorry.
I think 5-5.
They're
No.
no, they're at
They just did fight 6.
So they're
they
tied
were
up.
tied up. Yeah, they're tied up.
They're tied up now. So it's 3-3 right now.
3-3.
3-3. So Hades is going to win. It'll be 4-3, and then the humans are going to rally back. I think Mankind wins the next 3. I think Mankind gets all the way to 6, or at least gets to 5 before the gods. And
I would see them getting maybe the next.
Considering there are only 3 matches per season, the gods win this one, Hades, and the humans and Mankind wins the next 2. And when you go to season 4, Mankind's going to be up 5-4.
Yeah, and I again, this is me working off my memory. I don't remember the list, and I'm not going to look at the list just because I had to find one of the special freaking phone links that don't show you the whole fight and just gives you the list.
Yeah,
and I know if I look it up on my PC, it's going to give me who wins, who loses. The way I see it moving forward will probably be Hades definitively wins, possibly human, and then it is going to get to the point where there's going to be one match to end it all. I think they're going to get to the third. I think they're going to get 6-6 in the last one.
They have to win. They have to. Here's the thing. You know why they're also going to have Hades win? Because if it is another Chinese guy, no way a Japanese are going to let a Chinese get a win.
You know what? I don't mind that.
Because I would guarantee that's one of the reasons they had Lubu out there. First one to die, Chinese mythical hero. I didn't like their Guan Yu representation. It made Guan Yu look really weird during that fight.
Was Guan Yu the one that was like the big, kind of mecha looking guy?
Guan Yu was like one of the next most powerful warriors of the Three Kingdoms era after Lu Bu. Guan Yu's a fucking badass, and he got deified, just like Buddha got deified. He raised himself up, but I didn't like the portrayal of that. But yeah, there's no way. I don't think the Japanese
like a mecha.
That's the thing; it looked weird, and but I don't think I don't think they're gonna let a Chinese character win. I just don't, because they hate the Chinese.
I think they have one more Chinese guy on deck, but I don't remember. I do know they have Nikola Tesla. They have a bunch of Japanese guys. They have Susanoo is going to be one of the gods that fights, and I want to know how they're going to depict Susanoo, because that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, you say Susanoo, and I have. Actually, you haven't seen him in Final Fantasy 14 yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they go that kind of a giant guy in armor with a big ass sword. That's actually a good. It's a good mechanic fight. That's a good fight. Good theme in that one too. Anyway, different topic. But yeah, so I think, I'm gonna stick to my 5-4 at the end of season 3, and then I would say they get 6-6. That means that would mean the gods have to win 2 more. So then the gods will win, go to 4 then it'll be 6-5. The humans will win that one, and then season 5, because unless they stretch out season 4 to cover the last fight, then
or they stretch out season 3 to add in an extra fight, so that I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to play it out, especially because, again, as I said, there's weird stuff going on at the sides. Maybe some of that impacts some of the fights and how it plays out for a while. Maybe some of the fights don't go as we think. So
either way, at the end of it, let's wrap this up, because let's move on to the next stuff. I was not the biggest fan. I didn't hate it as much as I hated those first 3 episodes. I can admit that, and being completely honest and not just hamming it up for the hate portion of it. But I really wasn't enjoying myself watching this. It was because of the predictability, the lack of interest in the characters, because I'm not really rooting for any of these characters. I'm amused by them at times. There was what got a laugh. I think it was during the Buddha fight. Something got said, and it actually made me laugh. It was the first time I really laughed the entire time.
Was it the puberty joke?
No, that wasn't funny. Okay. But I'm not really, if I'm not laughing and I'm not into the fights, I'm not into the characters, I'm not rooting for it, this show isn't really feeding me on my weeb level. It's just not doing it for me. And I'm just not interested to see where it goes. I'll be happy for you to inform me where it goes. I'll be fine with that down
I
the
will
road.
gladly inform you.
But personally,
who knows? Maybe I'll pick this up again
hang
and tell you
hang on.
What,
I got fucking cricket in here. Vamp, I got to kill this thing.
So he has a cricket. He's gonna go insane gladly, guys. The old man has a cricket issue, I guess, but it is what it is. But how are you guys doing, Chad? I'm doing just fine.
You don't understand. I got to kill this thing. If I don't kill it, it's gonna wake me the fuck up.
Maybe I want you to wake the fuck up.
Where the hell did it come from? How's it over here? So, I'm going to hop away. Keep talking.
So he's unmuted, obviously, and I'm more now just enjoying listening to him run around the room and attack this pesky little critter.
But it's moving towards the closet, and if it goes in there, I'm gonna lose it.
You're probably gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it.
No. I know how to do this. All right, now I am gonna mute because I got to go get a weapon from the other room. So, bam.
Oh my God, he's gonna shoot up his house.
No, I'm just getting my soapy squeeze bottle. I'm going to stun it.
Close enough. We're fine. We're just listening. Winky face says Carl Carlson. Oh, well, that's nice. Carl, guys, listen. Okay, you got the angry boomer out the room. Okay, now it's my turn. Now this is my show. And I 100% want all of you guys to go out and watch Record of Ragnarok. This is a fun show. This is an awesome show where people go fight to the death in epic proportions. And you also get to learn a little bit about each character. I love how they do the development. I love how they're playing it out. Some characters I like more than others. But for the most part, I've enjoyed every second of the show. And I think that you guys should definitely go out there and watch it. There's a 10 out of 10. By far, no. I would probably give it about as 8 out of 10. I would give it an 8 out of 10 as a show. It is a show to watch. There's some problems, some dialogue choices I don't like. I don't like how Brunhilde just randomly it's an entire line, it's an entire scene. They draw it out where Brunhilde literally just says the fuck. And I don't like the delivery of it. I don't like how the dialogue is. They could have done a whole lot different. Like they could have had her just yell "what the hell" that whole time. So like draw out the "what the hell," but instead they do the fuck, and it's not appealing to the ears. It doesn't flow very nice. But I like Zeus. I'm enthralled with everything. They introduced Beelzebub, and I'm curious what is Beelzebub doing. He is a fighter. I will spoil that, guys. He is a potential fighter, and I want to know what is Beelzebub doing over here? How is he a fighter? How does he play out in all this? Because obviously, but how they do Beelzebub, he's more of an analytical guy. He's a scientist guy. He does experiments, and I want to know like who is he going up against, and how does this guy fight? Because it's pretty easy to tell how Loki's gonna fight. It's pretty easy to tell how Odin's gonna fight. It ain't very easy to figure out how Beelzebub fights. So. Jesus Christ, how long does it take to take care of a cricket? Imagine being so insane about a cricket. Like, and am I the only one here that wonders what causes him to hate cricket so much? Like, I have crickets every so often. I live with them. I live in the country. They get in all sorts of areas. Yeah, they become annoying, but guess what? You deal with them, and then within about a month of them not eating,
got away. No, listen, I had it. And I was cornered, and I started to shoot it with the spray bottle, and it hopped towards a drawer, and it just vanished right before my eyes. Just literally disappeared. It vanished in front of me. Just poof. There was nowhere for it to go. I mean, I hit it a couple of times with the soapy water, but see, I got a spray bottle that that's how I stun these things, and then I smash them. Because you stun them, and they're not just crickets. I haven't found a cricket in here ever. I haven't seen a cricket in years. And it just, there it is. Where did it come from? The front door to the house is way over there.
Welcome to nature. Sometimes
fuck nature. I'm on the second floor.
Yeah,
I'm not on ground floor.
Welcome to nature. Sometimes things get into.
I don't get insects in this apartment. That's one of the few good things about this stupid place. I don't really get infestations around here. I don't.
It literally could have come through a crack in the wall somewhere that just you don't know because that's how bugs work.
Yeah, I know that's how they work, but I hate.
Dude, I put in brand new freaking window. My family put in brand new windows 2 years ago. I get wasps every so often randomly coming into my room. I don't know how, and I'm allergic.
Ugh.
So yeah, I have to take care of those as soon as I freaking see them. I don't know how they appear. They just appear. And by the way, I agree with Ariel. It's the gas that they use to get rid of crickets. It causes Adam PTSD.
Makes no sense.
No, it does.
There's no,
Think about it.
there's no.
Think about it.
Oh, shut up.
That one wasn't for me. That was Ariel, and I like that one.
All I know is that now I'm gonna think about it.
I don't, Ariel, I like picking on Adam as much as the next guy, but even I can't. I don't wish that on him. Those are fucking horrible.
No, we don't get. No, we don't get those. No, those we don't get those here. Though we don't.
I lived in an apartment back during.
I lived in New York. Okay.
In my apartment in Kansas, got infested with fucking cockroaches. We call up the landlord. He doesn't do anything. And the worst part is we knew where the cockroaches were coming from. They were coming from the sewer right across the street. They were just coming in from the drain, and it was disgusting.
All right. So now, considering I saw where it went, I mean, probably maybe went back where it came from. It didn't get in the closet. It didn't get in the closet. It went another. It went over there. There's like drawers there, but there's nowhere for. Where did it go? Where did it go? Just it vanished. It hopped and it just poof. It was gone.
Maybe it went back to the way that it you came into the room at.
That's all I can hope for at this point. I mean, I hit it a couple of times with the soapy water, so it may be poisoned at this point. It may die someplace.
Part of me really hopes to get DMs from you late tonight when you're like, I hear it fucking chirping. I hear fucking.
No, that used to happen in another place I lived. They were under the floor, and they were chirping, or they were on the porch, just outside, and they were chirping. And I cannot stand a cricket. I mean, it's one thing if they're a part of the chorus and they're far away. I don't hear it, but the one that'll be out there and go and be like a needle in my fucking ear. Can't sleep.
You can never survive in the country.
I've lived in the country. Shut up. You don't know what? No, I lived. Listen, I used to spend a whole third of the year for a lot of years living on a ranch in Florida. That you don't get as more like rural than Central Florida on a hay and cattle ranch on a river. Things I saw. We got invaded by brown recluses at one point. That was a fun night. Yes. We didn't know they were brown recluses until later. My buddy visiting, he had the fireplace shovel in his hand and he's running around smacking them. So I'm losing my shit. I'm an arachnophobe.
I am looking forward to hear in just a few more weeks the cicadas come out.
See, that doesn't bother me. Cicadas don't bother me. That's white noise.
Like cicadas mixed with crickets chirping late at night. Oh, it's such a wonderful sound. I love this time of year. I love this time of year for that. I hate it for the heat. Motherfucker, I hate the heat.
So, anime. All right. So, Dermy loves this. I didn't hate it as much as I thought, but I didn't really like it. But I can see I've been checking the chat has been going. Some of the chat like it, and some of the chat are into it. Have fun, guys. It's not for me.
And we've had anime like that on my side.
Yeah.
Freaking card, whatever.
That thing is beautiful. It's art. That is art. And
this is art.
Beautiful characters. Those are beautiful.
This is art. That was annoying.
Beautiful characters with a romance subplot. Anyway, all right. So we got some other stuff to talk about. Let's bring it up here. And hail howdy, everybody coming in. We hope you guys enjoying the show. Enjoying the show. Hit that like button if you are having a good time on both mine and Dermy's channel.
Hit that like button if you want Adam to get the hiccups and start having a cricket chirp uncontrollably.
No, I think what I think it did is I think it somehow leapt into a small space on the lower drawer where it connects to underneath the fixture, and it leapt into that and crawled into that, and that's where it is, and that's where it's gone, and it's going to go off in that direction inside the wall and probably not come back out. That's what I think happened.
Watch as it gets over
Shut
to
up.
where you're bedded throughout
Shut up.
behind the wall and starts chirping tonight.
No, that wall isn't connected. Anyway. All right, so we got this though. We've got this. Shut up. I'm not listening to you anymore. We got this. So fan service is good. Kill La Kill creator defends fan service in anime. If we make the work completely sterile, people's immunity will be weakened and they will all die.
I agree.
Sells. I agree. We need gravity defying boobs.
Yes.
We need nice butts.
We need boobs that defy reality and defy physics.
And you know what? We need fit dudes too. I'm just saying that. Yeah, it's a balance for everybody. The hero's got to be fit, and the chicks got to be voluptuous and beautiful.
Hey, I've been rewatching Black Clover. I'm now farther in the anime than I was before. There's some sexy women in there. Not a whole lot of fan service, but
yeah, I mean,
sexy women.
The problem with Black Clover is like some of the designs of the chicks, faces wise, they're not very pretty. A lot. There's only a couple.
Noelle and Veronica, and also Gray.
No. I like the chick who actually we know likes Asta, who's the plant chick. What's her name?
That's not Maria.
I forget her name. I've only seen it once.
Mozilla, I think.
Well, you would know better than I. You're more versed in it than I am. She has good artwork, and also she's got stealth boobs. She's got stealth boobs during her fight during the examination. You got a good look at she had stealth boob in that one, but
Noelle has some nice cleavage.
Noelle has nice design too, but a lot of the women in that aren't beautiful. That art style too can go either really hard or really soft, and it's kind of you never know which.
I can never remember her name, but the older sister to Fingolion. Not an attractive face.
Oh man, she got face like a hatchet.
Yeah, not an attractive face. I have not seen how she's animated in the show yet. I'm looking forward to her because she's one of my favorite characters, but my God, I'm scared.
Yeah, some of those chicks have face like hatchets, dude. Anyway, but in the opinion of Kill la Kill creator Kazuki Nakashima, while there exists a growing opposition among audiences, Western audiences, puritanical Western audiences, mostly made up of left-wing SJWs. Okay, let's just remember that. That's what it is. Audiences to the concept of risque anime fan service. He and his fellow creators should dare to take on the stigma and keep including such content in their works. And like we said, Kill la Kill, dude, that thing is all about jiggle physics. That show, this is all. This show is all about jiggle physics.
It's one of the jiggle physics shows. There's like a handful of them. Like they're defined by their jiggle physics, and this is one of them.
And it's glorious. Not only because
it's a good one.
Yeah, Kill la Kill. I mean, we reviewed it. We did the review on that. It had stellar writing, stellar animation, great characters, great fights. Everything with Kill la Kill is fantastic. Outstanding soundtrack. Going back, I will say the Record of Ragnarok soundtrack is good. I will give it that. It has a good soundtrack. Soundtrack's good. Although they did reuse shit too much. I expected fresh shit for every regional god or hero.
I can agree. I can agree with that. Not trying to change the subject, but I can 100% agree on that. Yeah. I do like they start adding in some like new tracks here or there. Like they don't use the same tracks for like during Jack the Ripper and Hercules fight. They added a few new tracks.
Yeah. Nakashima, who in addition to Studio Trigger original series, is also known for penning such fanfare productions as Gurren Lagann, Tengen Toppa, and Gurren Lagann. Not as much fan service, but Yoko in that one has he has the package. Promo Rare, Kamen Rider W, and Kamen Rider Furs offered his thoughts on the titillating topic during a May 2024 interview given along series director Hiroyuki. Let me see over here. Imaishi. To Japanese news outlet February in reflection of Kill la Kill's 10th anniversary. Let's see. Let me zoom in a little bit more here so I can having problems seeing the names. There we go. At one point, met with the observation from the outlet Shotaro Miya, as machine translated by Deep L, that the production of the over-the-top and bombastic style of fashion-centered seinen series was only possible because it was made 10 years ago. Imashi confirmed his host's assessment, admitted, nowadays, we have to think a little more about what we can't make. For example, the exposure of skin, to which Nakashima added, I think even I would have after shame myself doing a full body depiction of Mako. And yeah, that's a thing. I mean, you see right here again the artwork.
It is a beautiful. It was
Yeah.
100% a beautiful
Yeah.
anime. It's not my favorite. I have some issues with like some of the
Oh,
story decisions, but it is
yeah.
beautiful to watch.
And guys, go back and watch our discussion on Kill La
Not
Kill.
my
It's on the-
discussion. Your discussion.
You were there?
No, no,
You weren't there?
no. That was the one before me.
Really?
Yeah.
I must have had a different guest.
You had Anime Man.
It was just me and him?
Yeah.
We might have to revisit this.
I wouldn't mind.
Might have to. No. I think Jose was there when he was with us. I think that's who was there. I think Jose was there for his brief time that he joined the show. No,
because it was before me. Because I was in the chat during that one.
Okay. I have old man memory. Leave me alone. You see, it's all I've kind of selectively retconned that period. I think anyway. We're gonna have to revisit at least in a discussion because it was glorious. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, I could see what he's saying. I don't think today's audiences would tolerate a peek into a bathroom. He added with a laugh. I would have to make an excuse for it more carefully. This person's life is at stake like that. Then pressed by a likewise jovial Mia, wouldn't it be better to just cut the bath scene? Nakashima smiled in turn. If you ask me, if bath peeking scene is interesting after all the lots put into it, I would say it's not that interesting. So I think I would cut it. And you got to realize peeping it's a theme. Peeping's a theme, especially in Hot Springs episodes. The dudes always want to peep on the girls. And there's always a good shot of fan service in that. And fan service, like they're saying here, if it's wrapped up in, like, for instance, a beach episode or a Hot Springs episode, there's context for it. But sometimes fan service should just be there for what it is. Just dude falling face first into a pair of pillows, or the chick jumping and landing to sit right on his face, and that kind of stuff. And it's there, and it adds humor. Now, I think that's the part of the thing that the Puritans, the people who just say we're all degenerate weirdos who look at this stuff, they don't understand that outside that this is over the top action fan service, but a lot of fan service at times it's humor based.
So there's an anime, not anime, a manga I've been reading that I do hope becomes an anime here soon. It's called News Exorcist. And they have fan service in there. And again, it's that tasteful fan service where your main character, he's kind of shy. He has his own reason for doing that. Every so often, he accidentally grabs one of the characters by the boobs. His hand accidentally gets there. Or they had a pseudo beach episode. Well, actually, no, they've had a beach episode where he explains like he's scared to look at women for very specific reasons. And he accidentally puts his hand on a chick's boobs. They have a sort of we're going to a hot springs style episode or a little pond, and we're going to be in our bathing suits and tops come off and he's scared to look. They have those fan service, but it's tasteful and it's nice, and it's how you do the fan service that matters. And fan service is perfectly fine. We all love it. It's no different than the Vinzinger sent this to me. This was back when I first did my channel, and I could not make a video on it because I didn't know how to approach it. But it's a reaction kind of thing that you'd have to EFAP and we'd have to sit down on a stream together. Where this is an older Vice article before Vice got shut down, where they were trying to say that anime makes pedos.
Bullshit.
and they had an entire documentary trying to prove that. And that's the whole mentality they have. It's their
Yeah.
Western Puritans trying to justify that all this stuff makes you into a pedo for whatever reason. And it's like,
Why?
no. And their
And that
evidence
makes no
was a
sense.
guy
Why
that
would it for half the I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off, but how does ogling women with giant breasts
they were trying to
make us a
conflate
pedo?
women with giant breasts into the area that into lollies, and I'm not
No,
a
no,
lolly
no,
defender, but they were trying to conflate all of them and then
no.
say that lollies make people pedos, and it's like no, 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 no,
No,
no, no,
no,
no.
no, no, and not to mention, I mean, this yes is a lot of the times are these teenage girls being shown in anime. Yes, but you have to understand one thing: all anime girls are horny. Show
And you
me a
also have to
show
remember
where the anime girls aren't horny.
a lot of another reason they show them as like 16 years old or something like that is the
Age of
laws
consent.
over in Japan. Laws over Japan are very different than the laws over here in America. That's why they do it.
16 is age of consent in Japan.
Mhm.
It's just that simple. Um, but I mean, you want to talk about fan service shows? To Love Ru, that is the king of all fan service shows. I mean, if you haven't seen it, that is a wild ride.
I haven't watched.
The first season's very tame. They do all the tricks of not showing you quite everything, even though there's a lot of sexualized situations, a lot of accidental gropings, because that's kind of our hero's thing. He's so
Mhm.
suppressing his urges that he has a natural genius ability to kind of trip and do a super grope where hands go
Mhm.
everywhere and tugging this that. And it's comedy, it's funny, it's entertaining, and it's also like a massive harem. It's just a massive harem surrounding him. But the first season, it's all little tongue in cheek, not quite everything. Season 2 and beyond, full Monties, TNA
It,
everywhere. They decided,
it's
fuck it, we're just gonna
mhm.
throw it all on the screen. Have
it,
at it.
it's been a while since I've seen it, but Air Gear's filled with fan service,
Yeah,
and it's wonderful.
yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. And as you said, the people who are go after it, they're trying to tie it to weirdo shit. And I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised if they're the ones into the weirdo shit. And they're
Mhm.
just
They're usually
self-eating.
the ones that
Yeah.
defend the weirdo shit.
Turning his thoughts to the general discourse surrounding fan service, the story Japanese entertainment writer lightheartedly asserted, after all, we are making a commercial work and we want the audience to see it. We don't care if people say, I don't understand, but we don't want them to feel unnecessarily uncomfortable. But on the other hand, if we make the work completely sterile, people's immunity will be weakened and they will all die. Therefore, there is a way of thinking we should dare to take on the stigma and transmit harmful things. Now, perfect example. Uh, during you're past the time skip in One Piece, right?
Yes.
So, what happened to Sanji when he was trapped on Transland Island for 2 years?
He
You want me
yeah.
to just go there? He
Yeah.
couldn't handle the sight of women.
Mhm.
He was his immunity was weakened. He couldn't look at Nami or Robin without going into full nosebleed. And
He
there was a joke for a while that Chopper kept having to put him on blood infusion for a
mhm.
while because he kept getting anemic. And that was part they actually timed it into the story of Fishman Island where Sanji needed a blood transfusion, but they couldn't find his blood type. But there was a fish man, but it was illegal for a fish man to give blood to a human. And they tied him, but that's kind of just my immediate example of it's funny. If you don't enjoy and embrace beauty, and let's be honest, the art of fan service is the art of appreciating beauty.
Mhm.
You become you become as he says here, weakened. You
You
can't
become
handle
weakened.
suddenly it's oh my god, I can't look at this. I've been suddenly conditioned
You
not to
become
look at beauty.
pussified.
And pussified, and that and see, but that's what the people who are opposing this want. They want you to be
Well,
conditioned to not appreciate beauty so that their ugly shit can get
I'm not
pushed
going to
out
go
there.
into this. I'm not going to go into the specifics of the discussion, but this is a similar discussion that Kirsch and Gundam had yesterday on quality content. So, men have become pussified for all sorts of reasons, and they were talking more in the veins of sex and stuff like that. But when we don't do some of this stuff, when there's tasteful ways to do all this. I'm not saying gratuitous nudity or gratuitous
Yeah.
sex and just
Listen,
doing this for the sake
if
of
you
doing
want your
it. It's
porn, the porn is
Mhm.
there. But when you're watching a regular show, there's nothing wrong with little TNA, not more, a little bit of nipple, just a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
a little
okay.
bit of
It's
nipple.
not gonna
There's
hurt
nothing
you.
wrong with showing a little bit of boobage or doing this stuff and showing this stuff in like tasteful, meaningful ways.
Yeah. There's nothing
That's not
wrong with a good shower scene. Nothing
Yes, there's
wrong at
nothing
all.
wrong with that. But like without some of the things that we've been doing, like, and this goes to like what Kirsten and them were saying, men being men and being too afraid to do some of the things that men need to do with, like, in regards to relationships and stuff in the bedroom. Men have become kind of pussified. It's the same thing there. If you don't get it, you become kind of adverse to it, and you don't realize how honestly decent it is. Oh, fucking Anna, that Star Wars girl up there. That's a very
Boy,
nice picture of her right
yeah.
now.
Boys, don't be afraid to, like, just make the moves if she's willing. There's nothing wrong. Nothing's gonna happen. At the same time, don't be afraid to make sure the parts are still working. Don't deny yourself. I'm being serious here. People who want to deny themselves personal pleasure are, and I'm talking just in a normal way. I'm not talking being a freak. I'm just saying,
Mhm.
take care of your business. Don't
Yeah.
don't be abstinent. If don't I know I'm getting way off topic on this, but I'm going with what the topic you're saying. You're absolutely right. People they're trying to condition us to be afraid of not just beauty,
Of
but
beauty.
sexuality,
Mhm.
And because let's be honest, and we might be going a little off to the conspiracy races. They don't want they don't want us to procreate anymore.
No, they're
They want,
anti-human.
yeah. I mean, the only reason I'm procreate is because I just have had one. I've had bad luck with women. I have not had the best track record in choosing or getting there. And frankly, sometimes I'll admit it, and I've been led on sometimes, only to discover, oh wait, you're not interested. Then what was all of that leading up to me
Mhm.
making a move? Why did you put out all the signals if you're going to say I'm not interested, or oh, I have a boyfriend? Well, then why are you hanging out with me in these situations if you have a boyfriend? Tell me that. You can't, can you? So, and at the same time, I also have a lot of the other stuff going on where I've been in periods of my life where I haven't actually been able to sync up and pursue that kind of angle of personal social life. But that doesn't mean I don't want it. Doesn't mean I don't
And
desire it above everything else.
Mhm.
I want it desperately. It hasn't happened for a lot of reasons that some are connected, some aren't.
and
But they don't
and
want us
that's
to have.
perfectly
They don't.
fine.
They don't want us to get there.
They
They don't
they
want us to
don't
have it.
they want us to be so it's weird. They want us to be sexual, but be sexual in the way they want us to be sexual, and it's so disturbing because it's over the top in all the wrong ways. But that's also another side to this. Like when we're talking about fan service, yeah, there's full on porn, but it's the same way
Mhm.
to what you were just saying now, tasteful, don't deny your urges. But at the same time, we don't want to go full fledged pornography
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
It's what this guy's saying, it's tasteful, be delicate with it. It's an art form to
Yeah.
do this. It's
Yeah.
not over the top and it's not restrictive. Like there's sometimes to be restrictive, obviously. Like there's some animes we
There's
don't need it.
time for porn and there's time for just tasteful nudity.
Mhm.
Or again, I've always been a proponent of, if you're going to draw these characters like this and have them have these giant cans, at least give me one shower scene. Just give me one shower scene. Just show it to me once. Don't deny me an entire series of this beautifully drawn character, which you took the time to make hypersexual, and not give it to us. That's just a personal stance on that. And no, Ariel, that actually has not happened. I could have probably worked with that if it happened. I could have. There's an angle to that, but no, that never actually happened.
Well, it's happening now. Sorry, Adam. Ariel's a huge lesbian.
Okay, that I'm not sure what she means by bat nipples. I've never encountered bat nipples. I mean, there is the too big nipple. That's a thing. But anyway,
What's a
sidetrack.
bat nipple?
I don't know. We're we're
Oh,
we're
I
getting we're getting to Ariel land here, so I don't know. We
Ariel
know that
Land's Funland.
aerial lands can be dangerous. We All right. Let's get back to this. Go. We do it with the lofty aspiration. This is what we need to do for the sake of humanity's immunity. We will never be understood, but we will die with a stigma for the sake of humanity. There is a way to do it with that kind of feeling. Putting a final bow on their conversation with Mia, Imashi ultimately joked back to his Kill la Kill partner, "However, I don't want to perish if I can help it." And you see, they're taking it. They're being joking, but they are saying, "Listen, we understand that there is the limit. There is the too far and the too much." And what they did was perfectly fine because for all they did in Kill la Kill, you never saw a nipple. You saw some
I'll say
hooch.
you
Right,
saw a lot of
that right there.
right there.
That is riding up. It rode all the way up. But they never
Listen,
showed.
they knew I would say Kill la Kill is one of the things that pushed the line, that
Oh,
really pushed the line, but it was
it
fine.
yeah, it knew what it was though from the moment the show started. And you weren't surprised when they went full hog. And there was, as you said, a lot of humor, a lot of fun, good characters. Oh, that's what you mean. Batman bat nipples. Okay. That's what she means by bat nipple.
Ooh, real quick, what's your favorite type of boob? Under boob, side boob, top boob, boob window?
You
can do mix and match.
You mean
You
in
can do
fan
mix and
service?
match. Yeah, in fan service.
Barring I gotta say under boob because you're essentially getting the whole thing.
I like a combination
because you can see that you can see the whole shape. If you get under boob, your imagination can then take over the rest of it. If you get a full shot of under
I like
boob.
Under boob's good. I also like side boob.
Side boob is a good second, a good runner up. I like right here. I just prefer I prefer the under boob because listen, there's now nothing. My imagination can fill in the last little spot it needs right there.
Yes.
It can fill it in. I have gotten now that's more than under boob. That's basically 75% boob. But you know what I'm saying. I prefer under boob because there was a particular costume Eve had on for Stellar Blade that left nothing to the imagination. It was the bikini combination under boob side boob, but it works. It works.
I prefer if I ever play it, I'm going with the skin colored suit.
Yeah, that has no shields on it. You're not going to want to do that. There's no shields on that.
Oh, play it.
You're gonna die a lot.
You won't. I'm gonna die a lot, and I don't care. I'm gonna use it.
No, there are better suits that have shields on it than that. There they are. Listen, the bikini is fantastic. Their bikini's fantastic.
Hey, I've seen what those new costumes look like.
I showed them to you last week.
No, I saw some climbing animations.
Oh, well. Listen, listen, for all my enjoyment of Stellar Blade, I didn't goon over it. I just enjoyed it while I was playing it. Once
listen,
I didn't do it.
I'm not talking about gooning, but a nice body,
Listen, it is distracting when playing it because Eve will distract you. You're busy watching her and you're not watching the fight. I'm serious. It happens sometimes. It just does. But fan service is fantastic. One of the best, Hiro Mishima, who does Fairy Tail. That dude is a master of fan service. He is a master at. Now, of course, I've said multiple times, just give me one full peek. How many times have we had it? Just so close, and
he's doing the same thing in Eden Zero, which I can't wait.
That's about to end. They said it's ending this summer.
The manga's ending, so
ending this summer. Yeah.
I better fucking get my next. I better goddamn get my season 2. Because I was actually enjoying that.
I tapped out right as they started them. I went through after after the first big villain of the first round, who was he called? Shit. And his 4 elements. I forget his name.
I have no idea because the anime is not there.
Oh, see that I tapped out after that. They had just gone on to the next big stuff, and I had just that's when I got tired of waiting for chapters, and I said, "Screw it! I'll wait for the anime to go all the way." At this point.
The anime they just got done with Valkyrie and that whole storyline. So the way I was watching, it was like, oh well, this is gonna go by really freaking fast. We already got all the stuff. We see where it's going, and then they're introducing the first big bad, and I'm like, oh, there's more to this. And then I saw some of the, covers. It's like there's a lot going on here. I want to know.
Eden Zero was good.
Fucking to me.
I read it from when it started in the manga, and then, as I said, I just got to a point. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of waiting for chapters. Wait till it finishes, and it's finishing this summer, so he will be finishing it this summer. But he's still working on Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, which is premiering in next month.
I will say he is bad at.
Oh,
he's really bad at waiting.
Yeah.
He gets it done. He's better than my Kentaro Miura. He's better than my hero. But
yeah. Either way,
God,
fan service. There's nothing wrong with it, and there's nothing wrong with good TNA in a show. And if you want the porn is out there. There is plenty of real. I will say the word hentai. Hentai's out there. It's not hard to find, very easy to get, and there's good hentai.
Just make sure you're watching it on your phone. Just make sure you watch it on your phone and on your PC.
Yeah. But
no viruses.
I don't get viruses. Hey, oh no, Adam looks at porn. I watch all kinds of porn. It's all porn. It's all the same. TNA. Listen, I will say there ain't no tentacles on my viewing history. Ain't no tentacles. That shit ain't happening. I do not do that. That's it. No, that's bad. That's bad. That's the shit that gives it all a bad name. That's the shit that gives fan service a bad name.
Tentacles?
Yeah, tentacles.
You mean
everybody?
This is a fun fact. They did that because they in the treaties with
I know
after World War II they weren't allowed to show
I know
that stuff.
But it's the tentacles that gives anime a bad name in general, because all the non-anime people think, oh, anime is just tentacle porn. All anime is tentacle porn.
They do say that a lot, and it's so fucking retarded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
there's plenty of slime porn as well.
Okay, I don't know about slime porn. All right,
it's like tentacle porn, but with slime.
Anyway, fan service good, and just like we talked about earlier, I'm not going to be any sort of puritanical shame in saying I've looked at boobs of all kinds and things. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend, because I'm gonna lean into the fact that I like beauty. I like seeing beautiful things. I like seeing fan service in anime.
I've looked at plenty of boobs. Don't you guys worry.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I lean into the sex jokes all the time, because it's fun, it's amusing, and also I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid to tell raunchy jokes. I'm not afraid to talk about beauty and appreciate beauty when it happens. And I will always continue to do that. And that's one of the great things about anime. Here's
the thing about beauty. Yeah. Here's the thing about beauty. Everybody loves beauty. There's not one single person out there that doesn't love beauty. Gay people love to look at tits too. Straight people like to look at tits. Women like to look at tits. Everybody likes to look at beauty. To deny that fact is dumb. Like, yes, gay guys might look at tits, might not get turned on by them, but they'll say, yes, those are nice tits. Those are beautiful. They're wonderful. They're just not doing it for me. So you can't think that, oh my God, just because gay people exist and they don't like tits. No, they don't get turned on by tits. They still like tits. Everybody likes tits. Everybody likes a good, beautiful body. Now, when it comes to men, let's be fair. Men body, unless you're into that stuff, you're not going to find it attractive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because men are gross. I can safely say it. Men are gross. We're not the beacons of beauty. We're the beacons of brawn.
Fan service not bad. Don't be ashamed of enjoying fan service. That's what we're getting at here, guys, as we're going to transition to the final topic tonight. Don't let these leftist weirdos shame you for enjoying beautiful things.
If fan service was wrong, fucking VTubers wouldn't have characters with big ass fucking knockers. Leftist VTubers wouldn't have fucking character, wouldn't be like fat, really fat dudes that look on par with movie bod, wouldn't be behind fucking VTuber avatars with massive cans, okay?
Yeah.
Everybody loves boobs, and the only retards deny it.
Listen, I play a lot of Final Fantasy 14 right now, and there are certain points where I'm doing an open triple triad tournaments, and you are literally facing off against your opponent. You get a good look at what their glamours are, and 9 times out of 10, the bunny girls, the cat girls, the dragon girls, they're dressed scantily, and their tits are out.
I mean, I'm kind of dressed scantily right now. I'm not gonna lie.
And I know that 9 times out of 10, I'm actually looking at a dude. I know that. I'm well aware of that. But I can still appreciate, damn, that bunny girl's got some nice titties. Anyway, all right, last topic of tonight.
You scream your head off when you see a Lala.
Well, they're monsters. They're little demons. You're starting to understand this, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. The way Kel works.
Kel
has
evil.
They are evil.
They're evil little bastards.
I'm laughing because I agree.
And because every time, think about this: whenever you see a little male Lalafell and they decided to give facial hair, they have porn stashes. They have demonic porn stashes. Horrible.
Just look at Kel's character. Jesus fuck.
You know what else is horrible though? This needs to stop.
Yes.
No more. You got lucky with One Piece. You got lucky, and that was only because of Oda Sensei. But no,
it's not a proper anime. I categorize it as an anime, but it's an American anime. Fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender wasn't good.
No, and that wasn't good.
And they have
you didn't get lucky with that either. Yeah.
No. We have fucking. I see Attack on Titan there. The Attack on Titan live action was shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was like the definition of why you don't do live action anime.
Yeah. Real quick. Carl Carlson wants to ask us if we have any opinions on these shows for fan service. I didn't see it till now. I remember watching Plastic Little way back in the day. I didn't have a problem with it. It was one of those things where I pulled it off the Blockbuster shelf, and I had no idea there was gonna be boobs in it, and I was surprised. I don't know if I saw the other two though. I mean, that's 90s. That's 90s anime, and it had a certain style to it where they went with a more realistic human design. They didn't go to the late 90s, 2000s, and then beyond, where okay, we're gonna go full anime style here. We're going gravity defying. We're going super busty. They were going more realism. They really went with the realism. Yeah.
Where
so
realism's okay, but it's not that appealing in anime.
I'm watching anime to watch something fantastical. Mm-hmm. And listen, and the beauty of current day anime style, we get boobs of all shapes and sizes. You get them all.
I started watching. Just on like styles real quick. I started watching this new show called like Garuda something. I need to look. It's They have a mixture of like realism with like the guys look kind of realistic, but over the top realistic, and then the girls look anime, and it's not worth doing it for me.
Ariel Tenchi is early 90s, and Ryoko is not. She's regular busty. She's not over the top busty. Mihoshi is a little bit bigger, but it's not over the top, and that kind of borders on. I mean, Mihoshi had the biggest chest, if you don't count OAV adult Washu or Goddess Washu, because her boobs were bigger, but it was still not. It was still in that same style. And of course, Tenchi wasn't a more realistic because it was science fiction, so they did break away from the more realistic thing. But a lot of the times, it was very realistic. Anyway. So we were talking about this here, though. This is a list, and let's go through these.
One Piece
doesn't. It's the outlier. It doesn't count, and it only worked because of Oda Sensei, and season 2
is the test.
And that's gonna be the test. It's gonna be the test. If they deviate, we've had this discussion a million times already. They can't deviate too far. They can't do what they did in season 1 and shift things around in the timeline. Because from this point forward, everything in One Piece happens at a certain point for a specific reason. Reveals are happening at certain points for specific reasons. You can't spoil a reveal before it's supposed to happen. You can't learn about the secrets of the gum fruit right now as we're learning. You can't learn about that. The reveal of what's going on, what happened in the Void Century, as we're learning right now in the manga. You can't reveal that shit out of line, out of order. You can't. So
there's a lot of shit you have. This is, you're no longer in playground state.
Yeah.
And you gotta, if you cut shit out, you gotta know what you're cutting out, and you gotta be careful of what you cut out.
Yeah. So them putting this on the list, they're just like, oh yeah, One Piece, but yeah, it only worked because of Oda.
Naruto's gonna be.
They're doing it. They're doing it. It's gonna be abysmal. It's gonna be horrible. I mean, it's not. Naruto is bloated in the first place. Come with its story. Take out all the filler. It's still bloated, even without the filler. It's still bloated. And time skips are involved.
It's very hard to do. I don't think they're going to be able to do Naruto because Naruto's not One Piece. One Piece, they're both shonen. They have, hey, I want to be this leader, but they have very different story structures. They have very different styles to them. Naruto can get I know One Piece can get dark, but Naruto can get very dark. Yeah. Naruto deals with some heavy ass themes. Same with One Piece, but they're different beasts altogether. They're not going to work the same way. Nope. And in order to do Naruto right, you're right. You brought up the time skip. You got to get a perfect character for Naruto back in old school Naruto. You can't jump straight to Shippuden.
Oh, you can't.
That means you got to get. Yeah, you have to get all that OG Naruto stuff out. You got to get Sakura right. You got to get Sasuke right. You got to get the storytelling right. This is a different beast altogether.
And you can't skip certain things. You can't skip certain character interactions. Now, does Naruto jump the shark the longer it goes on? Yes, because I think Kishimoto really lost track of what he wanted to do, and Boruto is Boruto's a complete mess right now. I keep track of it a little bit. That's a complete and utter disaster from what I can see.
I say he jumped the shark. A lot of people want to say he jumped the shark a whole lot during like earlier than the final fight. I think he jumps the shark right at the end.
He jumped the shark after the Naruto's battle with Pain. Naruto's battle with Pain was peak because it was epic. The way when he just totally owned it. That was so good. When Naruto shows up and rescues Konoha from Pain, that is so good. And after that, though, when we start getting into the true motivations of Akatsuki and all that stuff and who's really behind it, it starts to fall apart. And then we have the whole let's hide Naruto. Then the Great Ninja War. It all falls apart there because the bloated cast ruined it too. Cast was too big.
I think the bloated cast ended up really hurting it. I like the Great Ninja War. I hate how it ended because all of a sudden you have, all these guys are actually the sons of the Sage of Six Pack. It goes too wild. This is a different beast. You're right. They did jump the shark. I think they jumped the shark a lot later. Boruto should never have happened. They ended it perfectly with Last Ninja. Dude, this is a ticking time bomb. All these are ticking time bombs.
Here, Naruto the Last was so well done that it sold me on Naruto Hinata. It sold me on it. Kishimoto made his case, and he sold me on it, and I was okay with it.
It's also it's the perfect ending, ending to the story.
Yeah,
you didn't need to go on.
I didn't.
I like the Boruto movie. If you're gonna do the Boruto,
but you realize the Boruto movie is actually a third of the way into the first part of the story. That's not the beginning of a lot of other shit happened before that.
Doesn't fucking matter. Just do the movie. Never touch it again.
Well, here's the problem. They started bringing everything's aliens. The whole world is existing because of goddamn aliens.
You see, this is the problem. I see what you're doing here. I see what you're saying. That's why you do the Boruto movie. You never touch it again, and the story's over. Don't touch it.
Yeah. All right.
You already fucked it all up.
So they're thinking, oh, we should make Naruto. No, and they're doing it. They are doing it. It's going to be on Netflix. It's happening.
Yeah. It's just like the Gundam ones.
That's not even live action. That Gundam thing's horrible CGI.
No, they have a live action Gundam one that they're still working on.
Still, all I heard about is that crap one that I complained to you about a few months ago.
No, they do have I've been tracking the live action Gundam that got announced at the same time as One Piece and Naruto, but that's been in development hell for a while now.
Good.
And Netflix is putting that one
Stay
out.
there.
And yeah.
All right.
You had one. No. Even Japan did this, and
the movie was terrible. The movie was panned. They tried. It didn't work.
They did two. It was not good.
Yeah, there was a second one.
Yeah, they have a second one that has Scar in it.
Ooh. Yeah, I bet that didn't
They
go over well.
fucked it up with the first one. They got a second one and it was bad. But it's the same syndrome as fucking
Engaging magic. See, the fake fucking fans. Alchemy isn't magic. It's
alchemy
not
is
magic.
alchemy. It's actually
Alchemy is
science.
alchemy. Yeah, it's science. Equivalent exchange. Goddamn.
Laws
See,
of
this is where
reality.
they.
It's not. I can understand. You're right. It's fake fans, but you like if you don't know if you've actually watched it, you realize it's not magic. They have a different system altogether. It's more akin to science, and it's all about God and stuff like that. It's not magic at all. It's something
No.
completely different.
Nope. Yeah. Oh God. We're gonna get there one day, guys. Don't worry. We will get there. We'll get there. So yeah. Don't. No. 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 Ugh, I'm sick of this show. I'm sick of this show. I'm sick of hearing about this show. I don't care about Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the hit
I
thing to
like
love,
so
and I'm sick of
I
it.
like it. I like Jujutsu Kaisen. Guess what? It's too new. It's way too new.
It's almost done.
If you're, it's almost
Right?
done. Yeah. If you're gonna do a live action, you need to do something that isn't Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen can get the same curse that Naruto did. Can get the same curse as a lot of animes did. Ending could be fucking shit, and it could be fall off a goddamn cliff.
That's what I'm hearing. People are not happy with the way these final chapters are being executed. It's just drawn out and stupid from what I'm hearing. It's kind of pointless. Anyway,
I haven't even seen season 2.
I didn't
I'm
bother.
planning
I
on
didn't
sitting
bother.
down and watching it. Because I binge a lot of stuff. I've been busy. I'll watch it. I'm not a fan of the.
It
They
was
did it. They did the show out of order even. So I didn't realize this until I started like getting after I got done with Jujutsu
well,
Kaisen.
part of season 2 was a backstory, a lot of prequel stuff that went on,
Yeah,
and I think, and
because the reality is they made it out of order. Because the main story does center around the main character in Jujutsu Kaisen, but the manga starts off at Jujutsu Kaisen 0. So they had this huge issue
movie.
where
They made the movie.
they made the
And
movie
yeah, yeah.
second, but that's where the story actually begins. That's where the manga
And
begins.
that's
They had this
why,
huge issue of
and I gotta tell you,
prequels and
that's one of the reasons I didn't want to bother. It's like, wait a minute, I don't want to watch prequel shit. Why you take me back in time? That's part of why I was, and also I started hearing a bunch of shit. And I'm like, well, you know what? I don't care. I don't care, and I don't care about the story. I enjoyed season 1 for the most part. I don't care anymore. So this is a bad idea, not happen. They are doing this one too. They already are. And the problem is My Hero Academia is normie nip.
it is normie nip.
It's
It's
normie
really
nip.
fucking good, but it is.
Yeah, season 7 just started, and now I'm blocking. Listen, I dodge. Listen, I am an expert at dodging My Hero Academia spoilers. I am an expert at it. They have been trying to spoil this shit for me for years. I am exactly on season 7. I haven't read any farther in the manga, and I just want to watch it. And I know certain arcs are coming, but I don't know the details. So screw these people.
Well, you're right when it's normie nip because I remember when My Hero Academia first came out, it was everywhere. So much so that I walked into a GameStop, and this was back when Rooster Teeth and GameStop had a collab. I remember listening to them preaching about My Hero Academia. It swept the country. It's no longer as popular as it once was, but this is still, yeah, it's super fucking good. You can't touch it. There's so much here, and what makes My Hero Academia so good is I kind of agree with Yellowflash. It's Japanese X-Men. It shows you that superhero fatigue is still not a thing. People still have this craving for actual superheroes, and Japan's fucking doing it when America can't.
Yeah, and that was the big thing. It was when it came out. That was the big thing. My Hero Academia is doing superheroes right, where America can't get it right with the American comic industry, the Western comic industry. So they're already doing this. This is already happening. Like with many of the others on this list, it's going to be a disaster because it will not translate. I mean, season 1 was only 12 episodes, but the seasons get progressively longer, and the story is more in depth.
They're very deep. And for example, the war arc. The war arc is just one day, but that's sitting down and doing like classic anime style. You're doing backstory while combat is happening, and you're developing the story
right way
around.
to do it, where it's still engaging, entertaining. You don't feel like you're not losing the pace. and the power of what's going on.
If you think about it, if you just sit down and think about it, more than likely these fights maybe last an hour in their timeline, but they go over so many fucking
Listen,
episodes that
after Dragon Ball Z, we throw
Mhm.
that kind of logic out the window. Fights.
Well,
I mean, record of Ragnarok. How at
yeah,
the end of every fight, they list how many minutes it was. I'm like, what? That was only 11 minutes? You kidding me?
yeah, yeah, but
I spent 2
that
hours
goes
watching this shit.
but that goes into exactly like the thing here. Like they do that. It's same in My Hero. You have to sit down and you have these fights going on while you're thinking.
Mhm.
Events happen. That's why they don't. This stuff doesn't translate well. One Piece was an oddity anomaly.
And it's Oda. Oda is the
Mhm.
only reason it worked, and I don't know how involved he is in season 2. I don't know. And they have a new showrunner too. It's a different showrunner, I think, if I remember correctly. Not sure. But this bad idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. All right.
I don't even care, but
I don't care. I
you
don't watch
can't do
One
this
Punch
one.
Man.
This is
I don't
another one
know.
you can't do.
I can't really
I've
comment
seen
on it. I
parts.
don't know the story. I'm not interested in One Punch Man, so
I've seen parts. It's gonna have the same. Like the thing that One Piece at least has going for it is, yeah, you have these grand ships, but it's the same. It ends up having the same issue that Gundam has because towards the end of season one with One Punch Man, you have a fucking alien invasion and over the top craziness going on. You can't translate this into like live action.
mhm.
These are specifically Japanese things and animated things. These are not live action
Yeah.
adaptable.
Yeah.
They fight a goddamn bug man who changes forms. You fight characters that change forms regularly and have different like this is not even my strongest. You know they do that whole
You have
trope.
yet to see my final form.
Yeah, they do that whole trope. This is the same. It's gonna be
Yeah.
Dragon
It's
Ball all over again.
bad idea. Bad idea.
You
And
can't
let's
do
be
it.
honest, the One Punch Man mania long since gone.
People
Nobody
still
cares
love
about that.
it. It's long since gone. So I don't love it.
It doesn't have it doesn't move the needle like it did
Although
years
it's
ago.
nice to have Gal on screen right now.
That is her anger face. That is her angry
That is
face.
her. That I looked it
Uh,
up. That character and Gal are actually the same person.
oh, listen,
Well, we already did that.
but I just heard that the latest version coming out, the creator said it's a whole new different thing. It's not like the manga or the anime. So they're not even
So we
gonna
did that again.
try. They're not even, they're doing it again. It's not, I'm not talking the movie ones. They're doing another one. They're not even trying to link this to
So
continuity. Let them do it. Let them do it. Let this thing just burn itself out even faster than it already has.
well, like when I say they're doing it again, that's the same thing the first one had. Not even continuity, not even connected, doing its own little thing. You're doing it again and you're gonna fail again.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I get it. There's a bunch of people out there that like to do their whole shit, like to say their whole shit, like to say that it's good and you should love it and it's awesome. And I'm just sitting here like you guys did know it's bad. And I don't even think they would like this.
Mm. Well,
Wait,
I
I do
think
know
that
the creator is also doing another sequel series.
yeah, you've mentioned that. Yeah. Fine, whatever. I don't care. I this thing, in my opinion, everybody still wants to cream their pants over the finale from last year, or was it earlier this year? I don't remember anymore. I don't think this thing stands the test of time. This thing is big and hot now, but people saying it's 10 out of 10, the greatest anime ever. Listen, no, it's going
Where,
to
where
be
where's the
left on
hype
the
for it right
wayside.
now?
None.
Where's the people
What,
talking
what,
about it?
why are we still talking about it? No, we're not. No.
I
It-
know there's plenty of people that buy art of it. Where's the discussion?
yeah,
Where's the people praising it still? Like I
this
could
thing.
we talk about we talk about older anime here just as much, and there's still discussion. One Piece, good example.
Mhm,
Naruto, good example. We freaking there's people that talk about Gundam all day and night, and there's people that talk about Gurren Lagann all day and night.
mhm,
And Code Geass.
mhm,
There's people talking about Attack on Titan.
yeah, because this thing took on a life of its own, and it became normie nip to certain anime. People want to get an anime, and for me, and I've said this a bunch of times, the story fell apart on the time skip. It stopped making sense. The meta became too big, and it lost focus of what this was supposed to be. It decided to then become sort of some of allegory for oppression instead of we're fighting giant zombie monsters. And there's some sort of secret connecting their creation to a couple of our heroes. Nope, nope, nope. Let's make it about oppression. Let's make it about a guy who gets angry because the girl he likes is going to like somebody else, or he can't be with her forever. Let's make it a soy
Let's
boy
give them a
shit.
legitimate incel rant.
Yep, yep. Which they conveniently trimmed for the finale in the anime. They conveniently trimmed it down. So you guys can tell we are not the biggest Attack on Titan fans here. I mainly because I loved it until I didn't, until it disappointed me, until it ruined it for me. I was on board until the time skip, and then it all fell apart.
You can do the whole oppression because I could see the oppression storyline the whole time, but it went from quest of defying destiny to I want to commit a genocide.
It
I
just
want to kill everyone.
It's
because it's
not coherent.
I gotta say, I want to commit a genocide because I could see into the future and eventually we're all just gonna die. So let's just die now.
Yay, nihilism. So yeah, Attack on Titan, they're already doing it. It's already failed once. It's not going to go again. Okay, Spy Family. I have no opinion on Spy Family because I do not watch Spy Family. I know people like yours, big ass titties, and they think the girl is really cute, and the dude is this and that. But it's I don't know.
This is one of those examples of it's kind of normie nip.
It's
so big, and it's
something that the fake fans, the fake anime fans, like to rally behind, saying, "Oh look, I like Spy Family. It's the hip thing to like." That's kind of why maybe one day in the far future when it's done, maybe then I'll give it a chance. But because I'm being told it's the greatest thing in ever, and that everybody has to like it and enjoy and watch right now, I walk the other way.
And I've known a lot of people that do that. A lot of people love it, but it's one of those things like everybody's jumping on it, and when you guys start jumping on it like crazy, I don't want to be a part of that. What I like Record of Ragnarok. I like over the top crazy shit, but it looks too cutesy. It looks too.
I mean, Ragnarok's niche. That's a niche thing right now. That's this thing. They make this thing mainstream.
And that's another thing. When you make something, this was made for mainstream. When things naturally become mainstream, I think it becomes a whole lot better. Like Naruto, One Piece, even Attack on Titan for a while. It wasn't made for mainstream. It became mainstream. Mm-hmm. This, I think, was made for mainstream, and it grew way too fast to the point that I didn't want to be a part of it. I would say, what's that elf thing that everybody was ranting about?
What? Oh,
Frieren?
Frieren? Oh, God.
I think Frieren wasn't meant to be mainstream, but it became mainstream.
I have so many criticisms on that show. I don't care what anybody says.
And that's fair about that, but like I enjoy Frieren more, but I was not like discouraged to go watch that. I did enjoy it. I have no interest in this. I just don't.
Well, the thing, I mean, Vince should bring it up. The thing is, that's fine, Vince. You're free to recommend it. What I'm talking about is when you have Shill BR and other things trying to tell me how great it is, when I know these assholes don't know the first thing about what good anime is. That's when I feel like, okay, this thing's being pushed too hard for me, and I want nothing to do with it. But then they'll shit on a brilliant show like Jobless Reincarnation. That show's brilliant. That's fun. I'm looking forward to season 2, part 2, which is ending in a few weeks, and then I get to watch it all.
I think tonight is the last episode for Delicious in Dungeon, if not next week. I'm enjoying Delicious in Dungeon. It's sort of cutesy, but there's other stuff to it that makes it not so cutesy. And I've seen like the trailers for Spy X Family. I know it's not just cutesy, but there's just no appeal to me. There's no draw. Like I need to sit down.
But wait a minute, Jeremy. We're incel gooners. Shouldn't we just want to watch this because of yours giant tits?
No. I don't want to watch it at all. It looks so fucking. It's like next level. It's like I can't put it into words. It's a mixture of like this might be because of me and you also have like this thing of we don't always want to go with the tide. We don't always want to do this stuff because we've been burnt so many times. But at the same time, you sit there and you look at it, go like, why is everybody rallying around this? What's the interest? Where's the drama? Where's the impact? Or are you guys just grappling? Are you just grappling to it
Well,
because big boobs
now
and some
wh-
drama?
one of the things I've heard, again, guys in the chat, if you can confirm this or not, that they tried to make the little girl some sort of poster girl for autism. And remember, I mean, being autistic friendly is a big thing right now for shills and stuff.
I,
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
I thought she had psychic powers. That's why she wasn't connecting with everybody.
I don't know. All I know is that that's
Like, she
something I've
could
heard.
communicate with a dog that
Yeah.
could time travel or some shit like that. It was
Frank
weird.
and Frank brings up perfectly, and that's what this is why anime works and a lot of Western animation media doesn't anymore. Anime isn't monolithic. Tonight was a perfect example. Dermy loves Record of Ragnarok. I was mostly displeased by it, but I don't have to keep watching it. I watched it because it was my homework this month, but I don't have to keep watching it going forward. I can go
Mm,
watch something else. Um, Dermy has listed things that I've shown him that he's hated. He doesn't need to keep watching or reading it, but it's fine. We
mm.
can go on later. The only time it kind of comes into play is when we're doing this for show purposes sometimes. And
Yeah,
uh
like, I think there's been roughly 3 shows, like, legitimate shows that we've discussed here on this channel that I had no interest in.
mhm,
Mob Psycho 100. I don't
yeah.
like that art style. I'm
But
not a big fan of that creator. That was Jose. That wasn't you, but see, there's an example. I'm not drawn back to that.
yeah,
Then you've showed me the poem thing to
yeah,
never going back to that.
yeah.
And then the other one was the comedy one that you said I would probably like, and I hated.
Hmm, which
The
one?
blue hair chick, the guy that gets it's a isekai guy gets blue haired like goddess chick.
Oh,
Guy
Konosuba.
Konosuba, not a fan.
Ah, see, I love it. I'm getting ready for season 3 is almost done. I'm gonna watch it, enjoy it.
And see
Uh
that this is the perfect example. We disagree all the time. So when you start trying to push something on somebody,
yeah.
it's this inherent thing of nah, nah.
And as soon as somebody goes, nah, say once more, when we make each other watch shit for the show here, that's different.
Mhm.
We're creating content for you guys. We're creating a discussion thing. But once we're done with the show, just a perfect example. Jeremy has talked about Delicious Dungeon multiple occasions, and I've said, nah.
Mhm.
And we kind of leave it at that. Nah.
Yeah, I'll
I
talk about it. I
yeah,
might make you watch it for the show eventually. I'm gonna wait a little while just because I think you might enjoy it, but it's not gonna if you don't enjoy it, it's not gonna break my heart. I'm not gonna,
yeah.
like, for it's again, it's like you said, it's for content purposes. I'm just
Yeah.
curious what you would think
That's
what your
different.
take is, and
But
you do the same with me sometimes. What's
when
your
we're
take?
off the clock here, we're not making anybody watch something they don't want to,
Mhm.
because then it's miserable. It's terrible. It's it sucks the fun out of the hobby. And
Yeah, when
back to what Frank said, we're not monolithic, and we're not monolithic because anime is so, and I use this word without any irony, diverse. There is a diverse content in anime. There are so many
what
different genres, so many different
my
subgenres.
oh, so many you have Ma I love using Gundam as an example because in Gundam, you have the genre sci-fi and mech,
Mhm.
and then throughout it, you get subgenre after subgenre after subgenre to the point that you have G Gundam, which is Dragon Ball Z meets Street Fighter meets giant fighting fucking
And
robot,
I watched it once, and that's all I could handle.
and
And I only finished it because I was one of them thought of, well, I've gone this far, might as well finish it.
I can also say it does not have a good ending, but that is also not an
But
anime for
hey,
anime Odyssey at all.
hey, listen, what's her name does get her tits out at the end though, so the very
Yeah, that's
final
nice,
part.
but it's also part of that whole era. They didn't know how to end anything.
Yeah,
But they
yeah,
are
yeah.
they're coming out with a prequel series because there is a sequel series and there's a prequel series. Actually, there's 2 sequel series and there's a prequel series, and I am looking forward to that. They didn't confirm that was a prequel series. It was a hint when
Hey,
they were
listen.
mentioning Master Asia, and
All
I'm
I
fine
know
with
is that I'm waiting for the digital release of Gundam Seed Eternal, and I'm very excited for that because that's going to complete that particular story. I've been waiting patiently. I think it's almost time.
But
I haven't checked recently, but that's,
but
so,
let's go back to the idea of this
yeah,
article for a moment. Why would Spy X Family make a great live action? Why would any of the stuff
because
make a
it's the
great live action?
current it thing. That's their reasoning.
You want to know one of the other reasons they're probably putting it on there?
Well, you know what? Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's see what
Well,
they have
no,
to
no,
say.
what? Not just. Let's read it, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on this.
Yeah. All right. Though technically considered a shonen series, the mass appeal, there it is. The mass appeal of Spy Family extends beyond creative battles or fantasy world building. The anime centers on the Forger family, helmed by Yor, an assassin. Oh, I thought. Oh, Yor is the
Wait,
okay. Okay. She's. I thought the
wait.
dude. I thought Lloyd was in
I think
charge.
Lloyd's the guy in
Father.
charge, and what?
Maybe this is
Are they
their.
just saying this because of feminism bullshit?
Maybe that just wants to. I mean, can we get a chat check on that? If you guys can confirm that or not, this might just be why we always call these assholes fake fans. Super Spy from a neighboring these two people come together, create a family out of necessity for deep cover. Between them is the adopted orphan girl Anya, a telepath and the only one who knows both secrets. A genius promise in its own right. Spy families. I got to zoom in more. I can't read it on that screen. Hang on a second. There we go. Spy families. Explosion popularity lies in its execution. With a healthy amount of trademark shonen action, Spy Family is more concerned with the adorable dynamic of the Forger's found family, questioning whether Lloyd can form a genuine bond with his facade of a wife and a child, despite initially only seeing them as a means to an end. The intersection of domesticity and Cold War era espionage makes for a stylish story capable of intriguing
Wait,
viewers from many different angles, meaning and respectful, a respectful, goddamn fucking idiots, a respectful adaptation could garner some explosive popularity, not even needing excessive CGI creations. Spy Family might be Hollywood's best shot of overtaking the MCU anime. Remember, all of these things were listed to be overtaking the MCU. That was the whole purpose of this article. I forgot. We forgot. Sorry, we buried the byline here. Sorry, guys. They're talking about what can they do to replace the MCU with anime.
you get one good one, and it doesn't work that way. This is such a niche fucking area. But okay, when they read that, they contradicted themselves in both these paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
It's led by Yor, but it focuses on Lloyd trying to see if he can form a genuine connection. Doesn't that mean that he's kind of like the main character? But it's led by Yor.
I don't know. All I know is that they didn't make a case here at all.
No.
For why this works as live action. You know, or they did. They did tell us. Normie nip.
Yeah, mass appeal. Because that's all they did. Take a look at each and every single one of these animes. They did One Piece, massive. Everybody loves it. The manga, I mean the anime side, certain people love the anime, the live action. Naruto, massive. People loved every second of that. Then there's debates up towards the end, but it's still massive. People still love it. It is very big in in the Black community because they identify with Naruto in a certain way. Each and every Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, each one of these are the big talking points at the moment. At the moment.
Mm-hmm.
A lot the three legitimate ones that I would say, you know what, put them on the fucking list. Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto, One Piece. The reason they should be on the list is they have stood the test of time. They are legitimately beloved eras of anime. Even if they have like back and forth discussions on is this good, is this right, what's going on here, they've stood that test. Spy Family is like just a few years old. Jujutsu Kaisen is just a few years old. My Hero Academia, it's older than the two of them, but it's still going on. It hasn't had that ending point
My
yet.
Hero, it's been about 7-8 years now.
Yeah, you don't want to. You do not like One Piece is something completely entirely
One
different.
Piece
That's a beast of its own.
One Piece has been going on since the late 90s. It's like 98, 99 is when it started.
And
09.
and
We're going on
Vinzinger,
30 years. We're going on 30 years of One Piece.
Vinzinger, most of Westerners don't realize anime is not a genre. They do not realize that. When you
Yeah.
go to Netflix, you type, they have anime under genre. It's not a
That's why
genre. It's completely different.
they go, "Oh, cartoons."
Yeah.
Cartoons.
Yeah. But everything they have here is current day shit. And I don't mean to call it shit. I'm meaning like this is current day thing, current day thing, current day thing of the moment.
Yeah.
That easily tomorrow a set of episodes can come out and everybody would hate it.
Mhm.
Attack on Titan is a perfect example. Attack on Titan is such a split discussion. It ain't it. People like to say it's beloved by everybody. It is not. It
No.
is back and
People
forth.
like us who were there with the manga, we knew it was coming. And the people who were into it from the anime, they got a doctored version. They got a doctored version because they were cowards and knew, and by they I mean the people behind it, knew that they would get the same reaction if they stuck to the manga.
And I'm also gonna say this: I'm getting really fucking tired of people coming out here and saying current mainstream anime is 10 out of 10. Current mainstream anime is 10 out of 10. The best part about that is they're only sending us over here the stuff that was super successful over there because they know it's going to work.
Yeah.
So when you start taking that into account, you have to judge them on different gradients.
Listen,
Not all these things are 10 out of 10, folks.
I love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It is one of my most favorite things in the world. I haven't actually watched it. I usually do it biannually. I haven't gotten around to it. I've missed it last year. I didn't get to watch it last year. I didn't get around to it.
I need to watch it again.
But it's not 10 out of 10.
I'd say it's close, but it's
as close as I can get. It's like for me 9.7, 9.8.
Yeah.
There are problems in it, and I would and it's not because it's problems because I criticize points in the story which I think this should happen or that should happen better. But it's not perfect, but it is one of the greatest anime I've ever seen.
My favorite manga in all of existence is freaking Berserk. I have not had a good Berserk anime. The closest thing I've like a full Berserk anime. Closest thing I've gotten is the 90s version, which only covers the Golden Age arc, and then the Golden Age trilogy, which is the same arc, just consolidated.
They've redone it like 3 times. And
they've done Golden Age twice, and then they did it. They started doing it with the rest of the thing, and they did it in that CGI garbage that looked hideous, and people hated it.
And the point is though, Berserk's not done for all the obvious reasons we know, and it will get done, but it could end. That final frame could be the worst thing ever, and then you'd be done with it forever if it dropped the ball. And it will be the intended final frame because the information was passed on. It will end as intended, but that ending could completely fall apart for you. You don't know yet. So you can't even rate Berserk at this point because it's not done.
Yeah.
At least I don't believe if something's not done, you can't rate something if it isn't done.
I can give you a pseudo thing.
You could rate arcs. You could rate arcs, I think.
I can rate arcs. I can rate parts. I could say fucking phenomenal. I can't give it a full score because I don't know.
Yeah.
Legitimately, all this stuff can easily fall apart towards the end.
Oda could completely miss it in the final moment on One Piece. He could but I don't think he's going to. I think Oda's a very smart man. He's crafted this thing very carefully, recently taking time to take a look at it and make sure it's still going the way he wants it to go. But he could botch it. He could botch it, and it would ruin it. And that's it. We're done. We're done.
We mentioned it here. Naruto. Both me and you disagree on when they jumped the shark,
but it's still
we both agree they jumped the shark.
Yeah.
I think it's that final fucking fight with the fucking buttons, whatever that creature was, the person that brought the tail beast, that whole fucking
alien.
thing. Alien. all that.
Ariel and I in other streams in discussions between myself and Chad discuss the past. Tenchi Muyo, man, did that thing fall apart when the original geniuses behind it weren't involved anymore, and the one guy was left behind. He butchered it. What the endings they found, the coward ending for 20 years promised he will make a choice in the OAV. It'll be Ryoko or Ayaka. Nope. They went the full harem route. Yes, is Tenchi Muyo one of the original harem comedies? Yes, but it was harem only that he was surrounded, not that he was going to end up with all of them. Nowadays, current days, we see harem. We don't even think about who's he going to choose. I just wanted to bang all the chicks. That's the fun of it now. I'm not out for our hero protagonist to end up with one girl in the harem stuff anymore, because I know they're all cowards and never going to do it. But Tenchi was supposed to choose one girl. He was not supposed to flake out and choose them all. But they went that route, so that fell apart. Now, it died a long time before that for me, but these things can happen. And these things that start off great can just end up breaking your heart. But you get completed things like Attack on Titan. It's not 10 out of 10 for my own personal reasons, but even if I did end up liking it, it still had a lot wrong with it going on. But it's the social media era, though, that we live in. People want to have their opinion mean so much that as soon as the zeitgeist tells them, the muttering, the total feeling of approval is there for something, they don't want. I don't think they want to break away from the hive mind a little bit.
I love Delicious in Dungeon right now. I think it's fantastic. I'm loving every second of it. One, it can easily fall apart towards the end. They're setting up some interesting stuff for the next season. Some stuff I'm really curious where we're gonna be going with this. This can all fall apart really fast. It's super simple. Then when it comes to Delicious in Dungeon, I don't want a live action because there's no way to do a live action Delicious in Dungeon because there's an overall story, but at the same time it's partially episodic because they're killing random monsters from time to time to sustain themselves, and it's like your old style cartoons, like Dexter or whatever, where here's a 15-minute clip break, here's a 15-minute clip. That's how the story gets done. Here's your first meal. Here's your second meal. The story's still moving forward, but that's how it goes.
And I think I saw it brought up in the chat earlier. There's no way to completely please everybody.
No.
And you shouldn't. Anime isn't there to please everybody. You find the things you like and you watch it and you enjoy it.
Anime is not a genre. It's not a super. Anime is the. I know. Not Nick. Gary has said like superheroes and all that. Those aren't a genre. You do other genres within them, different storylines. Anime is the definition of that. Anime is a style with different genres all throughout it.
Yeah.
That is the thing about anime.
And they all cross over. They all connect. You can have different kinds. And listen, we're going to kind of get a little of that. It was on the show here because, Jeremy, I'm going to offer you a blind choice for what we're watching next time. Blind choice. I'm going to give you 3 descriptions. I've got 3 shows on my mind. And I'm going to give you a description. And while it is my choice, I'm going to let you influence it because you're going to get to choose which road we go down.
You know what? I kind of like this idea. I might do this next time as well.
Because I couldn't decide. I couldn't decide on these out of the 3 where I want to go. And being that said, so no more live action. And again, somebody said it in the chat earlier. There's no reason to make any of these things live action.
No.
They're created in the medium of anime for a reason because they work in anime. Nobody is asking for these things to be live action. These are creatively bankrupt assholes in Western entertainment who think this is their next money train. Well, guess what? The people who you need the most to give you the money are not going to. You had an anomaly with One Piece, and we said it before. Season 2, That's the test. If they botch season 2, this time I won't avoid talking about it. I will come right out and talk about it. Because last time I delayed it because I was wrong, and I didn't want to talk about how wrong I was for the most part. But season 2, I will be upfront. I will watch it. I'll give you my thoughts right away. I will not wait. I will tell you right away if they fuck it up. Because they can. They can, and they might.
Season 2 is everything moving forward is very questionable.
And if they think they're going to get to Alabasta on just 8 episodes, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. When we've broken it down in past streams, the successful path for One Piece live action. Alabasta is its own season. It's a season all unto itself. You can't break it down.
Just to get there, you're going to need 2 seasons.
Because you can't skip anything. The original 4Kids localization skipped shit. And when you go back and then rewatch the original stuff, you realize, wow, they skipped important shit that ruins future storylines. They skipped Little Garden. The 4Kids
can't skip Little Garden.
Little Garden.
All this stuff.
Little Garden just paid off in the current arc right now. At the end of Egghead, it just paid off.
It's almost like that's also the beauty of you just said his name, Oda. That's the beauty of Oda's way of storytelling. Like almost everything's important.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's important.
Yeah.
And it might not have an immediate payoff. It's gonna have a payoff down the road, though.
It's gonna cook. And I hate to use that term because it's one of those phrases that's been bastardized and killed to death, but it'll cook and it'll be delicious later. All right. We're almost 3 hours in, so let's wrap this shit up. Okay. All right. So we may have a little of a scheduling thing for next month. Jeremy was trying to tell me last week while he was drunk, but I told him, shut up, tell me later. So we'll get back to you guys on when we're gonna happen next. But 3 roads to choose from. Road number 1. Do you want comedy? Short season, but I found it funny. Always makes me laugh. Little self-contained. Don't know if there's more after it. I enjoy this one. It's from a bunch of years ago, but I like this one. Choice number 2, adventure. I think you've seen this one. I think you have. It's got adventure. Got a lot to it. Season 1 is 25 episodes, so it'd be good. Or path number 3. Season 1 of something a little shorter, but adventure, and we get more mythological stuff. More mythological stuff. It's more Japanese tearing apart mythology, but to me, it's still done in a good way. And there is fan service. There's fan service.
I'm going path number 3.
Path number 3. Well, then we're going to learn, is it right to pick up girls in a dungeon? Season 1. Yes. Wrong. Is it wrong to pick up girls? Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Season 1.
That's such a good one. I'm happy. I picked right. I do like this new style, though. Yes, I have seen this style.
Okay, I have season 1. I love this show. It's one of my current favorites. I've rewatched it I haven't rewatched the last season, but I've rewatched everything up to the current season 2 or 3 times, maybe even 4 times at this point, because it's just so much fun. Belle Creno is outstanding. Hestia is our 4-foot busty little goddess.
Belle Creno is the hero going on his hero's journey.
He is, and what a journey it is all the way through. And here's a show that starts off light, and boy, does it get deep and dark. I didn't
get back into watching because I left off during the elf girl doing the things.
I mean, when they were trapped in the deep dungeon?
No, I think the elf girl was just starting to go on what they were accusing her of murder and stuff like that.
That was the middle of last season. I need to get back into watching. That was season 4, part 1. So you need to watch season 4, part 2. It was good. Oh, it was good. Yeah. So we are watching. Is it wrong? Or Don Machi for short. Don Machi season 1 when we reconvene for Anime Odyssey. All right. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have we're gonna have fun with that one.
Shit out.
We're gonna have fun. See, that's listen, they gender swap Loki's a girl. They make Hephaestus a girl, but doesn't matter because Hephaestus has big tits, and I'm okay.
And she's also a likable character.
Yes. This is how character work is done well. It's how story is done well, and it's how a proper evolution of a hero. I mean, Bell, he is a great hero, but man, does he get hurt? He gets his ass kicked, and he has to train. All right, next time. All right, Jeremy, what else you got coming up for the rest of the week?
Well, tomorrow we have I almost said Anime Odyssey. What the hell? We have Ball Busters, where we'll be having Yo Pops on, and we'll talk about some of the week's like stuff that's going on. We might talk a little bit more of some big news that's been happening. Not really here. It's just it depends on what goes down, how the discussion works, and how
I say let
flows.
the chat steer the truck on that one. They want to hear about it, we'll talk about it. If not,
yeah, if they want to hear about our takes, because we talked about it last week, we can discuss a little bit of it this week, and we might have another long discussion about it, just giving our thoughts. Then it comes to Saturday Charity. I'll probably be playing more Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, you forgot something.
Oh, you're right.
8:30 p.m. Eastern.
8:30
after
p.m.
drive-in.
Eastern,
After drive-in. Jed and I are driving. Doctor Who Cares reviews.
Yeah, why did I blank that out? That's right. I blanked that out for some reason. Then and then I'm gonna have my review out on that hopefully Sunday, like I've been doing. But Saturday Charity. Then after that, how many more episodes of Doctor Who do we have? Do we have 2 more and then the double? Yeah, we have 2 more than the double.
2 more than the double. So we got 3 weeks left.
I'm not. Jesus fuck. Then next week we're starting the Acolyte, which I will be reviewing those.
Oh boy.
Because it's pure, kids. It's pure fanfic. There's no point. There's no source material.
I can tell you. Well, there is source material. It's just literally fan fiction made up by Disney. Yeah, the High Republic is literally fan fiction. It has zero grounding in any actual Star Wars lore. They just made it up. And Leslie Headland is admitted to breaking all the rules for this shit. Listen, I stumbled upon a video on Twitter with her and Dave Filoni talking to each other, interviewing each other. We're gonna go over that on Sunday. We get ready.
Fuck my life.
Oh, so God, it's so much bad.
But we do have something good coming up. And I'm debating if I review it yet or not. House of the Dragon, because I am looking for
I'm doing Hot D2. My chat demanded it, so I'm doing it.
I might do a poll because I do want to talk about something I like.
Yeah. All right. So that's that. And as I mentioned, Saturday Night Drive-In, Jed and I are watching The King's Speech this week. So join in 6 p.m. East for that. Followed by Doctor Who Cares reviews. And then I'll be on Saturday as we play some more Final Fantasy 14. And then Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, the round table. We'll go over the week's events, getting ready for the Acolyte and all that kind of good stuff. And then Mellow Mondays, at 10 p.m. Eastern this week, because Devil is on hiatus and I can't carry the show for an hour by myself. I just can't. That show's meant to be a back and forth nerding out shit. And if it's just me, it might as well be Natural 20 where I'm angry. Other than that,
and I might be showing up on Mellow Mondays a little bit more often just because of this time schedule. I have a little bit more. It works better with me.
Yep. So that's what we got coming up next few days, guys. So chat across both our chats. Thank you guys for watching tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. We hope you had a good time, and shows you had a good time. But hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Help us grow. We're trying to make our way in this weird place called YouTube. We do our best, and we hope you enjoyed it. So until next time, guys, take it easy. Have a good night or day wherever you may be. Wow. We're still delayed there. Holy shit. There we go. Wow. That was a long